Apparently, he'd broken his leg in a match against Sheffield United in 1874 and wanted to stop it from happening again. Naturally, his mind drifted to his other favourite sport, where players had been wearing these pads. Story goes, Widdowson cut up his cricket pads, sewed them into his socks and popped them on before taking to the footy pitch. Ta-da! Shin pads. Like all great genius inventors, everyone took the mickey at first. To be fair, he probably looked quite stupid running around with these on. But it's thought his whole Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894, in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this protection was pretty important for footballers. Multiple studies have shown wearing shin pads clearly reduces the risk of players getting lower leg injuries. And so, in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became a part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says pads must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection. It's really vague, and players can get away with a lot. A lot of grassroots clubs are choosing to ban micro shin pads for obvious reasons, though, especially after a 15-year-old player from Penistone Church broke his leg while wearing them. Still no change from IFAB, though. That's why Grealish & Co can still get away with these ones, which are no bigger than a credit card and which seem to offer little to no protection whatsoever.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. This is Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT, the Hootenanny episode. We recorded this in July, so hopefully the guest bookings will make sense when it goes out on December the 31st. Charlie, what's happening?
Happy New Year, Max. Coming up, we'll start by looking back at a busy day of Premier League football with journalist Sam Dalling, and we booked a Scottish football chat to congratulate Wilfred Nancy going top of the league before they lost 2-0 at Motherwell.
Yeah, the transfer window is itching to slam open, so we'll get the latest on Semenyo, Johnson and Odom Wingy, and the brilliant Gary L. Smith will join us to do some more AFCON.
Yes, we've got A-list guests Marcus Speller and John Bruin, both of them, to talk transfers, Arsenal, Man United, whatever they want, and we'll do a New Year's two-word phone-in.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Charlie. Happy New Year, Charlie.
Happy New Year, Max. You made me laugh out loud then, first time all year in this calendar year.
Which bit?
You saying you're looking for someone to get off with? Is that what the text topic is? Will you get off with Max?
Who are you going to... No, not will you get off with me.
Would you get off with Max? 8, 10, 89.
Who are you going to get off with when the clock strikes midnight?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was a sort of late 90s. Who's in the pub? You know,
have some
might
hooch.
Might get lucky at midnight. You never know. Jerry says, "Happy New Year, Max. Start the year as you mean to continue. A sad aging man spending more time in his shed." Muse lovers, 86, excuse me, not Muse lover, a totally different person. Muse lover 96. I spat out my coffee. So yeah, well, it was good to get a good gag in early in the show.
I mean, early on, wasn't it? Pre-news was tough as well. What if the opening story had been very sad and you'd just gone, "I'm going to get off with someone"?
Yeah. It's always the sport top of the hour. Sport top of the hour.
So, okay, that's the pro knowledge, you see, inside knowledge.
You're safer. I'm always thinking, Charlie.
That's why you get to do the ins and outs, and I'm sat here just going, what's the biggest cat?
Barry on the pod always says, we have these serious, episodes where we do, human rights, and he's not asked on, and then he does the yogurt pots for hats questions.
Yeah, exactly.
And during COVID, he did make a massive hat out of yogurt pots.
Did he?
And it was a real delight.
A Muller corner would make a good sort of cap. Wouldn't it? You've got sort of like a tricorn hat.
It would. I mean, ideally, you'd need a small triangular head.
If you were dressing up as...
fireworks going off at number 22, I reckon.
If you were dressing up as a small town crier, if you were dressing your cat up as a small town crier...
Sorry, if you want to dress your cat...
A Muller corner would make a lovely tricorn hat.
Not enough cat town criers. Maybe there are now. I don't know. Maybe it's different in the UK, but not enough. But yeah, I'll keep you posted on the fireworks.
Fireworks.
Out of the shed. That's very exciting.
Will they have told the neighbours there's fireworks? Because a lot of people hate it when there's fireworks, and they haven't told the neighbours because people have animals. People have pets, Max.
I'm not. I'm just in a shed talking, right? So I can't.
They know you do that.
I haven't set off a cat.
Do they know you're talking to someone when you go, or do they go, "That strange man's in his shed again"? He seems to be shouting autobiography wars a lot.
Why is he singing? Bridge Over Troubled Water at 8:05? What's that about?
Why is he doing that?
He seems normal in the daytime. I don't know why that happens.
What text topics did we have, Max?
So I've got a good one. I think I've got a good one.
Okay.
But it was really good when I did it in, I think, 2018. So 2018 New Year's Eve, because we did a New Year's Eve show once. We once followed, and I won't say who the lineup was. We once followed
amazing,
a pairing. And that was 29. That was at the end of 2019 into 2020. Me and you were doing this show, and the show before us was two people that had never really broadcast before, with no guests, doing what was your moment of the decade, with no phone calls, and it was one of the best things I've ever heard.
We suddenly went. Have you heard this?
It sounds like the worst date of all time.
No, because people will look back. They'll find out who it was, Max, and then we'll be in trouble.
Well, that's okay. Two lovely people. But I hadn't really then, I blame the backroom staff, as we always do.
Yes.
It was just, by the end, it sounded like a really awkward date, didn't it? You got any brothers and sisters? Do you like spaghetti?
And what's your favourite colour?
Exactly. Have you ever seen The Crown? I don't know. I haven't. It's not for me. No. So this is what I did. Maybe 2017, 28, who knows? But I was doing the mid-morning show with Simon Jordan.
Oh, that's nice.
And it emerged that Simon had no New Year's Eve plans.
Oh.
And so I did the text topic, "What are you doing tonight? Can Simon Jordan come?"
Oh, that's
and to be fair, Simon quite enjoyed it. He sort of got into it. I think it was
on board.
Probably wasn't his dream text. He doesn't do those kind of text topics as often these days, I think. But he was on board with it, so we could try it again. 8:10:89
with Simon Jordan involved.
Well, yeah. The question is, it's the same question. What are you doing tonight? As much detail as possible, where are you going to be, who's going to be there, what are you eating, etc. And can Simon Jordan come?
Can we also do you think Simon Jordan would enjoy it? Because I think there's I'm going to the Village Hall to see my son's band play and there's a bar as well, right? That's going to be great fun. I don't think Simon Jordan would enjoy that night out.
Oh,
he
I
might
don't
do.
think
I don't
that's
know.
fair. I think he'd love it. Invite him. What we'll do is we'll collate all the ones that say, I'm having a curry with my partner. We've got, the McKechnie Jarvises are coming round, and it's just going to be a quiet one. But we will see you in midnight. We'll probably watch Hootenanny, and then at about 12:05 we'll go home. Simon is welcome.
Be a great podcast for talkSPORT next year. Simon Jordan on a night out with the listeners. And the listeners invite him to several different nights out.
This could be the start. couldn't it? So 8:10. That's my idea. We were thinking about bleak New Year's. I mean, I don't know about bleak New Year's, but there was one before this, maybe last year or the year before, when I was doing the Sunday show, not from the shed, but from an actual radio studio, and it transpired it sounded better from the shed, which is one in the eye for the radio studios of Melbourne. But at midnight, the show went till midnight for me, and at midnight my pass reset, so I couldn't get out of the building. So the show finished at midnight.
Oh no!
And I was stuck in a
There's too
building.
much pressure on it. There's too much pressure on it to change your life. New Year's Eve, you just have to go. Okay, look, I'll wake up tomorrow and I'll give it a really good go again. That's all you can do. Go get it. That's all you can do. Go and give yourself a chance.
Here's a nice text. Hi, gents, says Andy in Newport.
Hi, Andy.
I've always been fond of Max. As a 46-year-old man of simple pleasures, I'd like to confirm I would not like to get off with Max, but I wish him well in his quest to get off with someone. Very
Your
kind
wife
of you.
is indoors. And you've chosen to do this. It's very nice, but she'll be asleep now, Max.
She's fast. Listen, I mean, look,
she doesn't want to snog you. You've got 2 kids. You've been married a while now. There's no snogging on New Year's Eve.
We've established at the moment we're just 2 people rotated onto similar shifts. That's what it is at the moment, isn't it? We'll get back to being a loving couple. But we're very much like, are you on this shift again? Are you doing nights again with these things?
One of those arguments. I have got the wipes. I have got the wipes.
Have you got a wet wipe?
Where are the wipes?
Why have we only got one pack?
What
How have we run out again?
The soda cram. The fury of a 3 a.m. row is unmatched.
You should have done the dream feed. You should have done the dream feed. As Matt says, I'm spending the evening with a Chinese and a copy of the Financial Times. Would Simon like to come? Welcome. He's very welcome.
I think he'd enjoy
Paul says, I'm chilling with the wife. It says Netflix and chill, I guess. Prawn cocktails and steak for dinner. I'm sure that's up Simon Street. Happy New Year, chap, says Paul in Kent.
Very other than the Netflix bit. That was a very 80s footballer night in.
It really was, wasn't it? I watch EastEnders and have cocktail and steak and chips, and then I'll drive a Ford Cortina around town. It did sound slightly menage a trois, but look, we will forward them on to some. We'll see which
that might
one.
Be what Simon's into. We don't know.
What, prawn cocktail, steak and chips, and a night
Netflix and chill.
And Netflix and chill with Paul and his wife. I mean, it's possible.
Simon sitting there. Well, what are we watching then? What are we watching? No, I've seen that.
For our New Year's Eve, I'm meeting my good lady wife, says Graham, at our local pub called the Mason. I like you're going separately and arriving. You're meeting there
nice.
at the Mason's Arms in Morecambe. Few pints before the bleeps come out, and then home for a curry in Jules Holland. Simon Jordan, more than welcome. There we are. So many offers. This is great stuff.
If we can get Ruby Turner on the show today, like they do always on the Hootenanny with Jules.
Yeah.
She turns up, doesn't she? Every single New Year's Eve there, there's Ruby Turner singing along. She's brilliant. Well, if we can get her on, that'd be marvellous. But
Adam says probably rehearsing for the Hootenanny tonight. Adam and Gabriel here from Eastleigh, Hampshire.
Hello.
We're off to hang on, I'm just checking. Is it an Urban Dictionary one? I don't think it is. Check. Turtle Bay.
Right, Turtle Bay sounds a bit euphemistic.
Nick, I'm reading it all out. I'll check it. I think it seems
Have you ever been in a Turtle Bay? Well, there was that one holiday in the Bahamas when I'd had the view too many rums.
Just because it's New Year's Eve, Charlie, doesn't mean we can't. Because occasionally, like most listeners, they quite like us and they see that we're part of the same vibe as Paul and Andy. But occasionally someone says, Paul and Andy would be furious with the snot that you're delivering. How dare you traduce this show?
25 years and you've dragged it down to
and
this.
This is what you do. And I, for one, am furious on their behalf.
Over to 5 Live I go.
They're going out with Nick Little and his missus Amy in Winchester.
Nick Little.
Probably end up in the Mucky Duck pub with the head scouring the urinal or blessing the porcelain by midnight. Good stuff. Great show as usual.
Simon interested in that? Do you think?
I just can't see him having too many WKDs and being just one hand either side of the cistern, just saying, "Hold up my hair, Jim. Hold up my hair."
This is poppycock.
As he's hurling into the toilet. He's had
one too many
25
blue
pints of
wickets.
Guinness.
Baby Guinness.
It's just too many Smirnoff ices, and he's absolutely wrecked.
He's getting
there we
Jim.
are. Anyway, you are listening to
Can you
Max
hold my
Rushden Charlie
jacket,
Baker.
Jim? Can you hold my jacket?
Max Rushden Charlie Baker on talkSPORT in partnership with Tool Station. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Tool Station. Good afternoon. You are listening to Rushden and Baker on talkSPORT. I'm trying the same text topic that worked very well when I hosted New Year's Eve mid-morning with Simon Jordan, who didn't have any New Year's Eve plans. What are you doing tonight? Can Simon Jordan come? Darren says, I'm on the early shift tomorrow morning. In bed by 9 p.m. if Simon fancies it. Hashtag big spoon.
Big spoon. I reckon
Big spoon, he says. Shane says, me and my fiancée just bought our first house. Congratulations. We hand over the keys to our previous rented accommodation on Friday. We're both spending this evening cleaning our old house. Do you think Simon Jordan would enjoy that on New Year's Eve? Shane the poster. Yeah, why not?
I think he would.
Dan says,
enjoy that.
All my partner's circle of friends arrange a New Year's get-together every year. This year, they appear to have forgotten whose job it was to arrange or host it. And it seems to have been completely forgotten. I'm thrilled, unless Dan, they're having a really good party. I had to,
and you're not invited.
He says, anyway, Takeaway and Terminator 2. Simon hasn't replied to my invite yet, Dan, the Newcastle fan. I've got an exciting evening doing uni work. I thought my deadline was in a couple of weeks. I haven't done anything, then realised it's due on Monday. Any help from Simon, gratefully appreciated. I can offer him a takeaway of his choice, says Chris. I'll be at home with the cats tonight. If Simon insists on coming around, he'll have to bring the cat food and bread as I've run out, says Ryan.
Wow, wait. Really looking after those cats, if I'm honest.
I don't understand Darren in Briga. I have to check that one. It's one I have to check. Anyway, there was a big night of Premier League action. It was all live on talkSPORT, and here's how it sounded.
Trossard, who then in turn finds Gabriel Jesus edge of the air, right footed shot. Oh, brilliant! Curls it past the goalkeeper and into the corner of the net. And Arsenal beat the unbeatables to go 5 points clear. Arsenal 4, Aston Villa 1.
Full-time whistle blows. Boos emanate around Old Trafford, except for the delirious away ends. Finish Manchester United 1, Wolves 1.
Goal for Bournemouth! They take it back to 2-2. I think it's Kluivert who's touched it in at the far post. It is Chelsea 2, Bournemouth 2.
Well, there were some important results. Well, I was just reading text about whether they get past Simon Jordan. I wasn't paying any attention to what happened. Sam Delling is a broadcaster and journalist, and he joins us now. Hey, Sam,
Hello,
how are you?
Afternoon, gents. I'm very well. You both good?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
It's 2026 where Max is, Sam, so you can wish him a happy new year if you'd like to. Yeah.
Wow, that's
very
his
kind
choice,
of
though, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's my wife's choice in a way, but I love her dearly. So
Isn't that nice to know?
It's a really lovely place. You just messaged me saying you wanted to start with Torquay's goalless draw at Bath, which I didn't see all. I saw the highlights, Sam, but I know you saw all 90 minutes of it. But a good point for Torquay considering.
A point on the road's always good. I just assumed that's where we would be starting, given the number of games yesterday. I was just having a look at who Torquay's manager was, out of interest, because I know my parents' local side, Taunton Town, have just appointed Gary Johnson, who's on finishing his West Country tour. But to see Paul Wotton's name, I haven't seen that for a while. Is he still a snarly man, Charlie?
Quite a snarly man, yes. Quite a snarly man. I wish we'd play more exciting football. And I've paid £96 for the season to watch Torquay United on DAZN. So far, I've watched 2 games. So currently at £48 a game, including last night's 0-0 away at Bath City, which was one of the worst, most boring games I've seen in my whole life. Bath City had left the grass long and they kept falling over. But we should probably focus on the Premier League games that were on talkSPORT.
Fair enough. Look, Arsenal beating Villa. And I don't know what you thought, Sam. When I saw that Declan Rice was injured and then the way Villa started that game and looked like they were getting through Arsenal's sort of high line and press pretty easily, I thought this is good. This is a 3-way title race. But in the second half, it was a real, actually, mate, you're not good enough and we're going to win the league type performance, I thought.
Yeah, it was. Ollie Watkins has chances, doesn't he, in that first half? And if one goes in, it just felt a step too far for Villa, missing Matty Cash and Kamara, suspended. And then once Amadou Onana went off at half-time, it just all fell apart. Probably quite nice for the Arsenal fans because they don't really make things easy for themselves. They haven't in their last couple of home games. What was it? Brighton and Wolves. And I remember watching the highlights of Match of the Day at the weekend, and there were as many highlights of the cameras panning to anxious-looking Arsenal fans as there were actual in-game highlights. So, yeah, it was lovely. Martin Odegaard looks like he's ticking again at the right time of the season. So are we officially saying that Villa being in the title race lasted between them going away at Chelsea and winning it and losing at Arsenal. So what was it, 3 or 4 days? Are we now ruling them out?
Well, I don't think. I think they are punching above their weight this season massively, and I think it's brilliant for Emery because he didn't buy any. They didn't buy anyone in the summer. I can't remember anyone they bought. I'm sure they bought a couple of people because everybody does, but
Sancho came in, didn't he?
They did very little in the
PSR
transfer window. He's got. He was obviously last night was without Matty Cash. He's one of their main players.
Yeah,
he is coaching that team, and he is beating other teams with pure coaching. I think he's absolutely brilliant. Manager of the year so far for me.
Yeah, he's outstanding. And we forget, or maybe some people don't, Villa fans probably don't, actually that first month of the season, they were dreadful as well. Was it 2 points in 5? Or maybe scored 2 goals in 5? They just kept, they looked rubbish. They really were a side, and you're thinking, has this team come to the end of its cycle? Because the really big sides, the sides that have the cash, essentially, can go out and buy and refresh that, and teams like Aston Villa can't. So you're absolutely right. I mean, Unai Emery, if they finish in the top 4, and that looks very, very likely now, then he's got to be a strong candidate for manager of the season. Arteta, if he goes on and wins the league, might also stick his hand up.
I thought, look, Onana was a big miss when he came off, and a lot's made of their set pieces, but that goal changes that game, and no one's in between Martinez and Gabriel. I was thinking, we've all played the game to a level, and people who just push you around before the corner's taken, you're like, come on, mate, what are you doing? And like Gabriel's just doing, I'd be so annoyed. I would just have to say, I can't mark this guy. I can't do it because it's just so annoying. But he's so useful, isn't he? In both boxes, so important.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been missing and they've done really well. It's great to have him. I mean, Martinez, that's maybe one flaw in Chelsea's. Not Chelsea. We're not even talking about Chelsea. Aston Villa's coaching that happened to Martinez. He got pushed around at Chelsea at the weekend, wasn't it, for that Reece James goal? So where are the Villa defenders? Where's his protection there? Where's Aston Villa's centre halves? Why is Victor Lindelof not getting involved and doing some pushing around his goalkeeper? It's a clear weakness of Martinez that maybe Villa didn't think about. And they must have thought about it and just didn't implement it on the pitch, right? You hope.
Yeah, I think so. And Austin McPhee, this was the set-piece coach derby against Nicolas Jova. McPhee's been done. But then they scored 2 the Zubimendi goal is great. And a Martin assisting a Martin doesn't happen very often, but Odegaard to Zubimendi. And then Trossard and Jesus' goals were brilliant. I mean, it does, like the phrase, I'm sure, statement performance has been said on talkSPORT before now, but and it is really easy to get carried away with that because obviously Man City are doing so well, Sam. But what you want at least is both of those two to really go toe to toe. And you get, if Arsenal are over their little blip, which involved losing just one game and winning others narrowly, and City are on a run, it would be great to have a sort of, I don't know, not since when City and Liverpool was just like Sadio Mane one cleared off the line, that 11-centimetre one, or that's what we need at least, isn't it?
It would be really exciting. I think the good news for Arsenal and Arsenal fans was that Gabriel Jesus scores his first goal, I think, in a day shy of a year. I mean, we've got a quarter of a day added on. We won't count that. But yeah, Gabriel Jesus scored and Kai Havertz was back as well. So suddenly, Gyökeres hasn't set the world alight yet, and I think there were plenty in the ground last night that might have expected to not see him for the second half. Perhaps if they hadn't been coming back from long-term injuries, Havertz and Jesus might have had longer, but those two are putting pressure on the Gyökeres as well. So I think that can only be a good thing.
I think that's been a shock from Jesus as well, isn't it, Sam? Because I don't know about you, but loads of Arsenal fans that I've spoken to, they've sort of written him off. It's expecting him to leave in the window just gone or the one coming up, just didn't think he'd be back, but he's back and he's scoring, and he might be the answer.
You mean the Arsenal always had their number 9? Would be saying
he was always there.
He's always there, hiding in plain sight. Gabriel Jesus yet again.
Yeah, but if you are Gabriel Jesus and you have a T-shirt that says "I belong to Jesus," you have to put like a little line underneath it, don't you, Sam?
Yeah.
But I don't mean me.
I
mean Jesus,
the most
Jesus,
famous Jesus.
Exactly. But I'm also, that's my name. It's difficult, but that's the T-shirt I've got.
Yeah, little asterisk.
Stay where you are, Sam. Sam Dalling, broadcaster and journalist with us. Newcastle fans as well, so we'll do Newcastle's win. We'll do all the games, all the other ones in the next bit. It's Max and Charlie. With you on talkSPORT in partnership with Toolstation. Pick up your wet weather essentials today. Next stop, Toolstation.
League's profit and sustainability rules are sold to us as financial fair play, a way to keep clubs from going bust. But there are those who feel it's starting to look a lot like a system that protects the big boys and keeps the rest in their lane. Here's how it works and why people feel that way. So clubs can only lose 105 million quid over 3 years, which sounds fair, but here's the kicker. Your limit includes how much you earn. So if you're one of the traditional top 6, you've got massive global revenue streams and you can spend way more while still technically following the rules. Meanwhile, ambitious clubs like Newcastle, Villa or Forest, well, they're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Newcastle might be backed by Saudi billions, but they just can't splurge the cash. Their commercial income isn't there yet. Last season, they won their first domestic trophy since 1955 and qualified for the Champions League, which you'd think would be a great springboard for them to go on and start building a team to challenge at the very top. But because of PSR restraints, they couldn't break their wage structure for a new Alexander Isak contract, and look what happened there. So what's the solution? Well, either loosen the reins so ambitious clubs can spend within their means, or cap spending based on something other than revenue. Otherwise, we're just watching the same 6 teams swapping silverware most seasons, and that, folks, ain't what the Premier League was built on.
£26K for 2026 on talkSPORT.
Yeah, if you'd like to win £26,000, then listen to Charlie Baker in just a second. We are kicking off 2026 with your chance to win £26,000, our biggest New Year cash giveaway. It could be yours. Here is how to enter.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines closed 12 p.m. 9th of January 2026. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. UK residents only, 18 plus. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com/win. For your chance to win £26,000, text WIN to 83338 now. Good luck.
Good luck, yes. Randy says, my partner and I will watch the festivities from our balcony here in our small fishing village on the west coast of Mexico.
Oh, that's
yeah. Are you there with ideal. Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman?
Oh, yeah. Did you hear the weather warnings in the news there at all, Max?
Yeah.
From the wrong way around. Bring Sam Dalling back in, because I think he might agree with me on this. Have we still got Sam with us? Yeah. The weather warnings are the wrong way round. It shouldn't go from yellow to amber as it gets colder. should get a colder colour, surely, shouldn't it? Should go like...
Or should be blue, you're saying?
Should be blue and then light blue and then white, shouldn't it? It shouldn't get, it's gone from yellow to a warmer colour, amber, and then it goes red.
It's confusing people, isn't it?
I'm with you, Charlie. I mean, if you're playing a game of hot and cold, right, with a child, and you were doing it by colours, you would not be using those colours.
Exactly.
And I think that's how you've got to measure your life. And so I'm fully
If I was explaining to a blind person heat, say, that was what it was, that amber, it's gone amber, it's warmer. No, it's colder. Let me talk about
You feel strongly.
Talk about the football.
Talk
about the football.
A couple of good 2-2s, weren't there? Chelsea-Bournemouth. I mean, the first half of that game, Sam, it just looked like both... Well, certainly I thought it looked like Bournemouth were going to score every time they got the ball, and then their defence isn't good enough either. And it was brilliant fun, and sort of shame on both of them for not carrying that on for the rest of the game.
Didn't they have something like 9 shots in the first half? It was basically the most shots they've had in the Premier League half, Bournemouth. And fair play to Iraola, recognised that they were absolutely naff defensively at Brentford and thought, how can we counteract that? Well, let's just go at Chelsea because they're a little bit vulnerable. And in the end, it's a brilliant point for Bournemouth, right? It's one that not many people would have predicted. I mean, I hadn't really clocked that Antoine Semenyo, who Iraola insists is not going to be his last Bournemouth game. He might play 1 or 2 more, but I didn't realise he had such a long throw as well. He's just the complete all-round footballer, isn't he? He's like Frankenstein's footballer. He put together all the attributes, and there you have Antoine Semenyo, brilliant player.
Can't wait for him to go to Man City and not play. It's going to be amazing. Just like play like 3 times before the end of the season.
Good if Pep goes, right, we are just going to get him to hurl balls into the box for Haaland to head it and just go, okay.
Do you think Iraola's done himself out of a big job with that run he's just been on, Sam? Because he's been a brilliant manager, isn't he? He's really good. But I think that, what's he gone, sort of 5 or 6 games?
No, longer than 10.
10
longer
games.
than that,
yeah, very bad run. And that might have done him, if Chelsea job does come up or something like that, he might have been in for that.
If the Chelsea job comes up, I mean, it's going to come up, isn't it? Pretty soon. I mean... that would be a harsh judgment, I think, because they started the season much better than anyone would have expected, given they've been asset stripped and given they're about to lose very much their best player and most important player. You fear for them, probably not in terms of relegation, but in terms of being a tough second half of the season. I wonder if actually Thomas Frank has done more harm to Iraola getting a job, because they're in that same sort of bracket of manager, like, oh yeah, these guys are going to be the next big thing. How will they fare at in inverted commas big club? And actually, I'm sure Thomas Frank isn't thinking about the likes of Iraola when he's going to take that job, but it probably makes those sides looking for top 4, top 5 finishes a little bit more nervous about that sort of appointment.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, actually, isn't it? It's a sort of a bit like, Postecoglou then being responsible for whether other people hire Australians when he's just a person who happens to be Australian. There's no Kevin Muscat going.
That didn't work before.
Kevin Muscat's going, I'm not him. Like, I'm a different. It's just like,
wasn't there a load of French managers after Arsene Wenger got changed football? Everyone went, we need a French manager. Like, well, just a bloke.
Yeah, so you had that game at the Bridge, and then West Ham Brighton, and you have to start, Sam, with a missed Panenka is really good fun.
Yeah, was it 3 penalties in the first half of that one? Yeah, I mean, West Ham fans, there's not been a lot for them to cheer about. I think a good result, not a brilliant performance all in. So they'd have enjoyed Danny Welbeck, who has been having a brilliant season for Brighton, who themselves are having a bit of a nothing season. They're not really. I think before last night they were 6-6-6 in terms of wins, draws, and losses. So it's very much an average season, and it's the sort of game West Ham in relegation trouble. Talk about stating the obvious, but home games against Fulham and Brighton over Christmas. If we're going to get out of this, we probably need 4-6 points, and they've just taken 1. But they do have. Is it Wolves and Forest coming up? So that's probably their last opportunity.
So big.
Isn't it?
They are so big, those games.
So big. So big.
So big. I mean, if you're Jarrod Bowen, eventually you're not getting fed up. Like, just because he's so good. And you don't, obviously West Ham fans would be upset for me to suggest that he could play for a better team, but I think they would agree that he could play for a better team. And eventually you must go, God, because he's 29 or something. You think he's got probably one chance left to go to... like a big... and he'd be good enough. Like, he'd be good enough for one of the top sides, I think.
Be great at Liverpool.
he could slot in nicely now, couldn't he, actually? For them, they're missing someone who cuts in off the right wing with his left foot as well. So he would. I think the summer's
definitely had someone for a bit.
Someone did it for a bit.
His name's on the tip of my tongue, but it's just not coming to me.
Look, your Newcastle 1-3-1 at Burnley. It sounds more comfortable than it was, I think, Sam.
It wasn't very comfortable at all. So, yeah, it definitely sounded like it was almost classic Newcastle. 2-0 up after 10 minutes. You're thinking, OK, this is brilliant. Eddie Howe went back to sort of his trusted players. Nick Pope came back in goal for Aaron Ramsdale, and you know what you're getting with Pope versus Ramsdale. It changes the way you can play, but it gets you a better shot stopper. Joe Linton came back and he scores a very deft goal actually early on, but he was more important in the game later on because so Newcastle go 2-0 up, then they concede. They almost stop playing, and I think you don't know if the instruction is to sit back or psychologically when you're 2-0 up, you do it naturally. So it then became 2-1, and it was a very telling moment about where Newcastle are at the moment in that. Fabian Schär clears one off the line just before half-time. And just before that, Anthony Gordon has, rather than giving it a simple pass, he's been dispossessed and he's gone down, rolling around on the floor, looking for a foul. It isn't given, and I don't think it was a foul. And they play on, and Burnley almost score. And actually, well, I can't speak for all 2,000 Newcastle fans, but the ones around me, the abuse in that situation normally goes towards a referee for not giving the foul, but actually it went towards Anthony Gordon, which I think showed that slight strain in relationship. But Howe was right? It was about the result last night, and actually clinging on psychologically, given their inability to do so, might really help them. The problem is that performance. He needs a run. They've got Palace at home, they've got Leeds at home, they've got Wolves away in the league, and they really need to take 9-12 points from the 4 games, including last night. And there was nothing in that performance to suggest they are going to go and do that. And if I'm a Burnley fan or a Burnley player or even Burnley manager, Scott Parker, I'm really disappointed that they deserved a point there last night. Armando Broja, cost 20 million quid for them, has barely played. He looked really bright, ran Newcastle centre-halves, ragged. Frustratingly for them, he was actually injured right at the end, and we were looking over towards Scott Parker was basically on the pitch picking this bloke up, chucking him back on, because they hadn't used 5 subs, but they'd used their, what do you call them, pre-substitution windows. He could barely move during injury time. Marcus Edwards caused real trouble, and those 2 haven't played much, and it was just that lack of quality, and they were missing Zion Fleming, and you think with him, he scored 5 goals and is very composed. He wasn't even in the squad last night. And if they just had that little bit more quality, they could have. They deserved the point, and maybe would argue they deserve to win that game.
Yeah, I don't think they're down, but who's going to get dragged? I mean, are Leeds going to get dragged in? I don't think they are. I think they're big and physical enough. And if Calvert-Lewin keeps scoring and stays fit, then, I don't see them getting dragged in. I don't see Forest getting dragged in. I think Dyche will, be able to do enough in the transfer window and carry on with Stone and Wone and the sort of complete city behind him.
Michelle Moan, bizarrely, Michelle Moan there as well. It's an odd choice, but she can invest. She can invest some of that money that she took.
You go. Who's going to get if Iraola leaves and Semenyo, when Semenyo goes, Bournemouth, do they get dragged in? But they're still 11 points clear. So
West Ham are in real trouble.
Aren't they? West Ham.
Last year was the year to be really rubbish because the 3 promoted sides were bad. This is not the year to be rubbish, and West Ham have made a big mistake by choosing this year. I mean, they've been rubbish for quite many years, but to be really rubbish, I guess. Anyway, Sam, must go, but
brilliant,
thanks for coming on, pal.
Thank you so much.
Happy New Year.
You're very welcome. Happy New Year to you, Max. Happy New Year to you, Charlie, when you get there. Same time as me.
Yeah, I think it's same time. I think that's how time works. I'm not sure.
Most people in the UK will get to New Year at pretty much the same time. But it's good to clarify. Sam Dalling there. Liam says, I'm still in the doghouse from going out for a pint on Saturday afternoon and coming back in at 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. Liam,
that is too much. I agree
that's
with
too much.
Whoever you're in the doghouse with, Liam, I agree with them, I'm afraid.
Simon can come around if he wants, as the missus still won't look at me. Liam endorse it.
Well, you're a disgrace.
I bet he didn't even text either.
Liam,
that
you're
is a disgrace.
And you stink as well. You absolutely stink. Where have you been?
You're close because cigarettes. Come on, Liam.
We all used to stink of cigarettes, Max. When you could smoke inside, we all used to stink.
Those are the days, weren't they? Days where you could passively inhale fags. It's not as good as it used to be. It isn't as good as it used to be.
You used to have to try and remember facts. You couldn't just Google it. You used to go, who played Juliette Bravo? What was her name? What was her name? What was the actress's name? And you'd sit, and that would be an evening. You'd all sit around.
Simpler times.
John,
they were simpler times.
That would be a whole evening. And now you go, who played Juliet Bravo? Google it. Say who it was. Move on.
I used to do you remember the breakfast show on BBC London with Joe Good.
Oh,
she was furious with the internet for ruining radio quizzes for exactly that. Say, phone us now. Who played Juliet Bravo?
Yeah.
But people would know. They could just check, wouldn't they?
Just check.
So we won't do that. What we'll do after the break is we'll do a bit of Scottish football. Robert Grieve, Scottish Sun football correspondent, will join us. Disappointing defeat for Celtic last night. Rangers won. It's Old Firm at the weekend. Poor old Wilfred Nancy. Darren in Brecon writes, I lied before. I'm not chewing a tyre behind the co-op to strengthen my jaw at New Year. That would be insane. I'm actually participating in a kettle screaming competition held in DR Congo every Hogmanay. Whoever makes the noise of a screaming kettle wins. One of the judges has dropped out. Can Simon step in? So I'll put forward that to Simon Jordan. Suf says, I'm in Marrakesh tonight for New Year's. I'll probably have a tagine and a few bottles of Casablanca to see the night through. So I'm more than welcome to join. I'm originally from Winchester. I'd usually be in the Mighty Duck, but here for AFCON in Morocco.
Oh, very nice.
And David says, Happy New Year, lads. Cracked a can while getting the dinner on for later. Send us a photo. I'm not sure I'll see midnight, but I don't care. It's trying to snow here in Northern Ireland. He says, let's do a bit of fit bar, shall we? Robert Greaves, Scottish Sun football correspondent, joins us. Hey, Robert.
Hello, Robert.
Max, Charlie, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Happy New Year. Now, I suggested doing a bit of this because I'd obviously saw that Hearts had lost the Edinburgh Derby. Celtic win last night. They go top. All this talk of Wilfred Nancy. And I'd be like, wouldn't it be, after all that, actually he'll turn it around, they'll win the league. And they weren't great last night.
No.
And losing 2-0 to Motherwell is not the greatest way to set yourself up for the Old Firm.
No, I think that's fair to say, Max. It's been a dreadful start for Wilfred Nancy since he's come into the club. He's had some tough games in there, it has to be said. They played Hearts in their first game, as you mentioned there, and it doesn't really get much tougher in the Scottish Premiership terms, and then Roma. But he's really struggled to make any real imprint on this Celtic team and this Celtic squad. And as you say, results have gone from kind of bad to worse. 5 defeats in 7 games, nowhere near good enough from a Celtic perspective. And as you say, they're gearing up now for an Old Firm game on Saturday with so much at stake, both for the team and I would suggest for Wilfred Nancy himself.
Yeah, and he has, as you said, he had a tough start. It just hasn't gone well. The optics, whether they matter or not, of the tactics board and etc. etc.
He seemed to wait for the stuff. He seemed to wait for the tough start. He seemed to go, oh, hang on a minute, I'll wait until we've got Hearts and the Old Firm derby and a final that we could potentially lose v St Mirren. He seemed to. It was such an odd time for him to start. I thought, Robert.
Yeah, you're right, Charlie. There was obviously talk for a good number of weeks that Nancy was going to be coming in, and we were all wondering what the delay was at one point, and then it was going to get pushed back further even, and then you're right, the timing of it was very kind of suspect. As you say, coming in for the Hearts game and then a Roma game soon after that, you couldn't get any tougher for Wilfred Nancy, in all fairness to him. But that said, I don't think he's helped himself at all. Charlie, since he's come in, he's tried to implement his own ideas far too quickly. Celtic were a winning team when he came in. That's what people have to remember. Celtic under Martin O'Neill had turned the ship around. They got some fantastic results. I was in Holland when they played Feyenoord off the park. Just a few days before Wilfred Nancy came in, and then he tried to change things too quickly. He's gone with a system which I don't think suits the players that he has there, and as a consequence of that, the team has really struggled. I think, certainly from my point of view, I think the body language of the players tells you they don't quite buy into what he's trying to get across to them. And as you say, the results are the be all and end all. Martin O'Neill spoke about this ad nauseum when he came back in for that short spell. The be-all and end-all for Celtic managers is winning. Style is one thing. It's all about winning. It's all about getting results. If Wilfred Nancy was to have come in and gone about it in a different way, I think, and got results, he could then try and implement a style. But he's gone about it the wrong way, and I think he's paying the price for that. I think he's under real pressure, guys.
I agree. I agree. And you know better than us, like the fans are not behind him. And, Celtic Park, midday against Rangers on Saturday will be fascinating if it doesn't start well.
Yeah, listen, there's a lot going on behind the scenes at Celtic. We have to remember there's unhappiness from a large proportion of the Celtic fans towards the Celtic board and what's going on there and what hasn't gone on there in terms of recruitment and signings. So he's come into a kind of toxic environment, which hasn't helped. But as I say, when you look purely at what's happened on the pitch, from his own perspective and his standpoint, I don't think it's been anywhere near good enough. I don't think also he's helped himself the way he's spoken post-match about games. He doesn't sound like a Celtic manager right now, with his description of how the team's playing. And I mean, managers and players often come to Glasgow and come to Scotland and they kind of say the right things in terms of they know that they have to win and they know it's all about the kind of having that mentality, but it's a different ball game altogether to actually try and implement that. And I think that's something that Wilfred Nancy's really struggled with. As I say, the games don't come any easier. They played Motherwell last night. They get played off the pitch. A really good Motherwell team, it has to be said, but Celtic have to be performing so much better than that. And if they produce another performance like that against Rangers on Saturday, and they come unstuck again, as you said, the atmosphere inside Celtic Park will go beyond toxic. There will be real pressure on the Celtic board, the director's box, but there will be real pressure on Wilfred Nancy also.
Yeah, and Rangers, have certainly turned a corner since the sort of Russell Martin debacle.
Max, they're grinding out results. That's what I'm talking about. I don't think Danny Rowell, since he came in, will sit there and tell you that everything is going to plan, that he's getting the tune out of those players that he precisely wants, but he's doing things gradually and he's getting results. It's not been spectacular from a Rangers perspective, far from it, but they're grinding out results. Last night against St Mirren, it was a narrow victory in the end. They were 2-0 ahead. Jack Butland saves a penalty at one point, so they get the 3 points in the bag. They weren't spectacular, and that's been the difference. Danny Rowell's got in there and been a little bit more pragmatic in terms of his approach, and he's getting the rewards from that. Rangers should not be anywhere near a title race, given the way it started for them. And a number of weeks ago, even after losing to Hearts a week ago, people were kind of saying, right, it's done for them now, and yet here they are, within 3 points of Celtic, get into an Old Firm game, which is quite extraordinary when you think about it.
Who wins the league, Robert? Before we let you go, who wins the league?
I think Hearts, Charlie, have got themselves into such a fantastic position. They obviously lost their derby game against Hibs last weekend, and that was a huge blow for them. But I don't think Hearts are going to go away. Who's going to win the league? I think that's a very big question. I'm not wanting to sit in the fence, but I do think Hearts have got themselves into a position where I think they're going to strengthen. They will strengthen in January also. They've got a fantastic manager and they've got a head of steam up. I think it's going to be nip and tuck right to the very end. I don't know how it's going to pan out. Celtic probably have the better squad right now out of Celtic, Rangers and Hearts. But the managerial situation is giving them a real problem. I think it's going to go
good.
It's fantastic for it really is.
Be great if it is, a three-way for the tie, wouldn't it? Thank you, Robert. Happy New Year, pal.
Thank you, Robert.
All right, guys. Take care.
Be Hogmanay.
Robert Grieve there, Scottish football correspondent. Marcus Speller from the Football Ramble will join us in a bit, and we'll do some transfer window stuff.
There are many sporting rivalries that can boast years of history, ferocious tensions and iconic tussles that ignite the fans to their very core. But when it comes to the battle of the mind games and the verbal exchanges in the heat of battles down the decades, the Ashes stands alone. So here are some of the most memorable Ashes housery moments. Few figures in Ashes history were despised by the opposition more than Douglas Jardine. He was the granite-jawed architect of the notorious 1932 Bodyline series, which sent shockwaves through the sport that still reverberate nearly a century later. One day, the hurricane met the tornado as Jardine met Yabba. As the name suggests, Yabba, real name Stephen Harold Gascoigne, was a heckler who became so famous that a statue was made of him. When Jardine was on the boundary swatting away some flies, Yabba yelled the immortal line, "Jardine, leave our flies alone. They're the only friends you've got here." Like Jardine before him, Stuart Broad is another figure who had a particular gift for riling the Aussie public, mainly due to his jaw-dropping survival at Trent Bridge in 2013, when he very visibly nicked off to slip and refused to walk. Broad is somewhat the modern housery king. He officially became a sorcerer in 2023 when his random bail swaps twice bought a wicket with the next ball at the Oval. 3 tests earlier, after that Carey Bairstow run-out, Broad made sure he was right in the thick of the pantomime. Wicketkeeper Ian Healy issued one of the great lines towards Nasser Hussain. When Steve Waugh told Ricky Ponting to field right under Hussain's nose, Healy remarked, "That could be anywhere within a 3-mile radius." Poor Nass. But perhaps the most poetic of sledges came from bowler of lightning bolts Dennis Lillee, about the Yorkshireman of Yorkshiremen, Geoffrey Boycott, about whom Lillee wrote this: "He's the only fellow I've met who fell in love with himself at a young age and has remained faithful ever since." Priceless.
Good afternoon, Max Rushden Charlie Baker with you until 4 on talkSPORT. Rob the Hearts fan in Edinburgh says, I'm going out on the lash around 6 if Simon's up for it. Once the pubs are shut, I'd have him knocking random doors saying, if it looks like a party and sounds like a party, then it's a party until we get in somewhere.
Wow, what a
good
technique.
stuff. Yeah, he's getting busy living. Great to hear you both this afternoon, Max. I'm surprised you're not watching the Australian equivalent of Hootenanny. Wishing you both a happy new year.
Who's on that? Kylie Minogue, Men at Work, singing
Men at Work,
I Come
Midnight
from
Oil.
Yeah. And you're the voice, that guy, John.
John Farnham.
John Farnham.
Oh, that is how.
What
to
a
end the
hootenanny that
song.
would be.
What a great song that is. The Minogues are there. Steph
Actually,
and
maybe
Dennis.
if people want to ring up and sing "You're the Voice" on a WhatsApp that voice note, maybe
you want WhatsApp voice notes of "You're the Voice" by John
03717 223344.
We're just. You're somewhere. I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea.
Let's see if people want to do it. 03717
John Farnham voice notes.
Yes, please.
As we do as is customary on talkSPORT every new year, one show does. Give us your John Farnham voice notes. 03717 223344. Sing as much of the voice as you want. Let's bring in Marcus Speller from the Football Ramble.
Yes,
you don't have to start with the voice, but you're welcome if you want to. Marcus, how are you?
Very well. And you're the voice that I understand, etc., etc.
Imagine if he came out now with like the most sensational singing voice.
Not even
you've
I
ever
could
heard in
that.
your whole life. He just sat there and it just came out.
We were weeping. Like the Susan Boyle moment. It'd be like, I dream a dream.
It'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
That would be great.
But let's talk about football instead.
Yeah, why not? Sorry, I have to. This is brought to you by sponsors, Marcus. So just stay where you are. Don't say anything. We haven't introduced you yet because it's time now to look ahead to the January transfer window with Intuit QuickBooks.
Transfer window. Breaking news on talkSPORT with Intuit QuickBooks. Tackle your self-assessment with Intuit QuickBooks. Search QuickBooks to find out more.
Lovely stuff.
That's not Marcus. Is who is it? Because the amount of times you say it's a big January for X, and you feel like it's a big January for everyone. But who is it? Who's it? We were saying before, it feels like a big January for West Ham to me, Marcus.
It needs to be a big January for West Ham. My goodness. Currently, the way things are going, they are staring relegation right in the face. So they need something. They really, really do. Nathan Ake's already turned them down. They're sniffing around Jürgen Strand-Larsen. I mean, if he wanted to guarantee Premier League football next season, not sure West Ham might be the best option because, I say, they are struggling. But they really, really need a lot of late Christmas presents, West Ham.
Well, their recruitment's been poor.
It's been diabolical. So, again, we can say all this and the fans are going to be listening to thinking, I wouldn't hold your breath on anything, pal. So, as I say, they really do need something. They need all over the pitch, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
they're leaking goals.
Don't they?
They need a midfield. They could do with a striker. I know Callum Wilson's up there, and they booed when he came off because they were thinking, well, crying out loud, at least he knows where the goal is against Brighton. Was it last night? So yeah, I mean, I do worry for West Ham. They're going to have to do something, you would think, in January to save their season. But I wouldn't be too confident in those who are signing players at that club.
What's Jared Bowen worth if they cash in?
Oh. Don't ruin their New Year's Eve.
What's he worth?
Priceless.
I mean, $1 million quid?
He's priceless to West Ham. But I mean, in terms of, I mean, West Ham fans have been having a terrible time. I really don't want to say he'll leave if they get relegated, but the reality is,
well, he will do.
Yeah, you'll lose your best players if you go down. They need,
and he wants to be an England team.
Well, of course he does. Yeah. So I mean, he is currently priceless at West Ham at the moment. I mean, it's not too. I mean, Wolves didn't sell Jürgen Strand-Larsen at the start of the season to Newcastle United. They had £55 million bid rejected because they thought, no, we need this guy if we're going to stay in the league.
Yeah.
Now they're thinking maybe 40 million, something like that.
As Barry Glendenning called it on Sunday, Max, the Wolverhampton Wanderers fire sale that was happening.
But 40 million for Strand. I mean, he's got potential, but that is not someone. It's just amazing how much money you have to pay. We were talking about Spurs on Sunday, like the amount of £50 million players they have, who are just sort of all right.
But strikers are at a premium, Max. They're an absolute premium at the moment because every young, exciting player at the moment is a wide forward. I mean, if you were a wide forward right now,
Charlie is.
Yeah, exactly. You guys know.
Very wide.
If you exactly. That's January. There's going to be a lot of wide forwards, I can imagine, playing in the leagues across England. But
what did West Ham? Is it Fulkrug?
Fulkrug. Well, he's gone on loan.
How much was Fulkrug?
Yeah, but West Ham are notoriously. It's a notoriously tricky place for a number 9 to go as well, and to do well. I don't know what it is about playing up front for West Ham if you're a striker.
We were trying to say that. What's the last good West Ham centre for? I mean, Mikel Antonio, did sort of plough a lonely furrow on his own, with no support within 200 yards of him for about 10 years, just looking around going, I've held it up. I'm really tired. Is there anyone? Is there? Hello, are you there? Thomas Souček, are you there? But maybe Tony Cottee?
Do you know what I was going to say, Cottee?
Frank McAvenny, Tony Cottee, that era. We're looking at that
era.
era.
Let's go back to Jeff Hurst.
Was Freddie Canute there? Was he any good at West Ham? Freddie Canute?
Canute was there for a bit.
Oh, yeah, Canute.
He did the rounds. He was at Spurs as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so.
So,
I mean, actually, on 50 million players, on thanks, Charlie, on £50 million Spurs players, Brennan Johnson, his deal to Palace is off? Is that because he doesn't want to go?
Wow. Well, Bournemouth are sniffing around, aren't they, as well? So I wonder
would you prefer Bournemouth to Palace? That's an interesting question.
If he wants money,
I haven't seen
he might get paid more money at Bournemouth. I don't know what he's moving for. I don't know why he's moving from Spurs. He seems to be
he was not playing, though.
He was their top scorer last season.
That was under Ange. Yeah. That was under Big Ange. He's not playing under Thomas Frank. So that's probably why he wants to go. But, I mean, he
knows he has to play to have a good World Cup, doesn't he?
If they get there.
If they get there.
Yeah. But I mean, or maybe he's partial to a palm tree. I've never seen a palm tree in the Crystal Palace area. I have down in Torquay United have not come in for him at the time of recording.
Right.
But Bournemouth are sniffing around.
Proximity to palm trees does affect who you sign for.
If I'm Brennan Johnson, I'm not going to Bournemouth.
Are you not?
I'm not.
Not under
I'm going to Palace or I'm going to Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah, but the interesting thing with both those clubs is you look at the project or whatever and you go, well, Glasner's not going to be at Palace, right?
He set the foundation, though.
Yeah, true. I mean, I think Palace is a really brilliant football team. I think Johnson's an interesting player, and I think if you watch Tottenham fans, he did score loads, but at the same time, he never totally delivered, I think, for them in terms of what, you know, what does he do? Like, because he doesn't quite beat his man that often. I think at Forest it looked like he had so much potential. Maybe he played down the middle a bit more for Forest, but
he scores winning goals.
He says he doesn't want.
He scores winning goals in European finals.
He wants to go back.
There is that.
He wants to go back to Forest. Would that be an option?
Probably. I mean, if you look at Brennan Johnson, you know, there is a player there. You know, he can score goals. You know, Brennan Johnson at the back post is the classic thing Spurs fans would say. So he knows where the goal is. He's got a bit of pace. He's still young. What is he, 24, Brennan Johnson? So I understand that there's you know, he needs to learn a bit more about the game, you would say. Still a little bit raw. But there is definitely a player there, as he's shown in patches at Tottenham Hotspur. I think if you're Bournemouth, you know, you're going to be missing a winger soon, aren't you, really? Semenyo is pretty much off to Man City. That seems like a very close deal to be done soon. So they need to go in for somebody. They need to respond straight away because Bournemouth not having a great season thus far. We know they're a good side. Okay, they lost a lot of defenders in the summer. Iraola's a good coach. I don't think it's a terrible shout to bring in Brennan Johnson and say, right, what can you do? Because, again, when he was signed for Spurs, I mean, he was signed by Ange Postecoglou. Yeah. So played a very different style of play. I wonder if he's coached by an Iraola or a Glasner, indeed, at Palace, if that deal was to happen, if they could get more of a tune out of him.
It's a good question. Hey, Marcus, we started late. Would you mind staying where you are for another 10 minutes or so?
I can do that for you, Max, anytime.
Yes, that's good. Are you happy with that, Charlie? I haven't run it by you, Charlie.
We always thought we'd do this thing with Marcus on a Saturday, didn't we, Max? Which was a spelling bee competition.
Spelling with Marcus.
You against listeners spelling things, which we thought would be absolutely excellent radio.
Yeah,
I thought of a new quiz yesterday, actually, Max. I need to talk to you about that. Anyway, break.
What is it? Can you tell us on air or not?
Yes.
Is there an off air one?
Kaplunk on the radio. Because it's noisy, Kaplunk.
It is, yeah. We're in different hemispheres, Charlie. Is that an issue?
No, because No.
How it works?
How do we do it?
No. How it works is you pull one straw out and then you pack it incredibly tightly. You post it.
Yeah, and it'll sound like a didgeridoo by the time it gets to you.
It lands to me, and I pull one out, and then we do that
when
again.
loads of marbles drop on Kaplunk on the radio.
That's really good. Okay, we'll try.
Maybe next
it's
international break.
Marcus Speller from the Football Ramble is with us, and we are talking about the transfer window and whatever else he wants to do. It's all brought to you with Toolstation. Gear up for those darker nights with electrical and lighting offers. Next stop, Toolstation. Ollie says, that advert you just read, gear up for darker nights. Aren't all nights dark? Well, not to our listeners.
Depends where you are.
In the Arctic Circle, of course,
Exactly.
in summer.
Getting 2 hour night times or whatever.
When we have huge, this show especially, where me and Charlie are on, absolutely massive in Lapland. Huge.
we love it.
We are. This Saturday, everyone, Amanda Serrano defends her WBO and WBA featherweight titles against Serena Tellez in a 10 3-minute championship fight from Puerto Rico. Watch it live Saturday, only on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
It was a short boxing update, but it was an update nonetheless.
I think it was too close to New Year. Do you think can we put it off a week? If you were Amanda Serrano, just quite tired after Christmas.
Well, they call her the Ham. Do you know that? She's called the Ham. She is the Ham. Mark in Walthamstow says, my New Year's Eve is going to be the usual grim tale. My wife has her eccentric French mate coming over, but she's currently in Brittany waiting for a Eurostar to bring her here. She doesn't stop talking and doesn't drink, so the plan for me is G&Ts from 4, red wine from 6, chow mein and prawn balls at 8, followed by the Smiths on full blast in the kitchen until 10, slam some doors, mutter how much I hate this time of year, and retire to bed to reflect my awful behaviour again, says Mark.
I think that's probably why she invites her French friend over.
Possible, but it's good. He's got every 2 hours he does a different thing. Marcus Speller from the Football Ramble is here. We're looking at the transfer window. Well, you're a Fulham fan, Marcus. What do Fulham need in the window? How's Fulham coming?
They're safe, aren't they? Probably just coast till the end of the season now.
Yeah, the league table's a big fat fibber at the moment, isn't it? Because you win a few games and suddenly you're like, we're only a few points off top 4. Very congested indeed. I wouldn't mind Fulham to sign the aforementioned Jurgen Strand-Larsen, if I'm honest with you. I mean, Raul Jimenez has been a great player for Fulham.
He sounds Fulham-y.
He does sound Fulham-y, I think so, yeah. Jimenez, of course, is leading the line. Jimenez will be 35 in May, and I think, if my memory serves me well, his contract's up in the summer. Rodrigo Muniz is injured, and out until about February, something like that. They could do with a striker, perhaps maybe at the end of the season. So I find it's going to be a game of cards really around Strand-Larsen in the January transfer window. Because does he go, say, to West Ham, for example? Is he going to get any other offers? Of course, if you wait and he doesn't go anywhere, come sort of May, June time, if indeed, I say if, Wolves are going to get relegated. I don't think too many people would push back on that. You would get him a little bit more cut price, and he would be gagging to get out of there.
In the summer, all the talk around Fulham was... Yeah. They're not spending any money.
Yes.
The owner is considering selling. The manager is considering leaving. Everybody's considering leaving, basically.
Yeah.
What happened to all that chat?
They had a lovely drinks party by the Thames and thought, it is nice.
It is a nice place.
It is nice here.
They've got a nice new stand. Nice. Is there a swimming pool in one of the bits?
That's how you get people to stay. Okay, Strand-Larsen, if you're listening, come down, have a go in the swimming pool, overlooking the Thames, preferably on a warmer evening, and you'll have a lovely old time. I think with Marco Silva, what you're saying is, was he going to leave or not? I mean, that chat is still there somewhat. It's slightly quieter, but it's still there. And I think Marco Silva wants to be backed. I think he's taken Fulham, last season, Premier League, a record Premier League points tally for Fulham. So he's done all he can really with the team. And he's thinking, go on, back me. Let's see where we can go. And the owners are going, well, sign the contract first for a longer deal. And there's a little bit of a standoff situation there. Of course, they got Kevin in from Ukrainian League, the Brazilian winger who's a good player. Samuel Chukwueze on loan from AC Milan, who's done really, really well. So they needed some reinforcements because, again, the squad they've had is good, but it needed a little bit of refreshing and some more attacking players there. So if they could add, say, Jorgen Strand Larsen, for example, whether it's in January or indeed come the end of the season, that would be great. West Ham are obviously after them. I'm sure he'll have other suitors as well.
What's happening with Adama Traore? Max, do you think he's at Fulham?
He's not here.
I forget
Let me
he's
just
there.
check. I'll just check.
He's at Fulham. Trust me.
He's at Fulham. He's one of the funnest players of the last 5 years in the Premier League. Why isn't he being fun, Marcus?
Yeah, I know what you mean. If it was all just about sheer strength and pace, then he would be a world beater. But I think Adama Traore is a handy player to have, and I think he offers an option, particularly off the bench, and that's why Nuno Espirito Santo is looking at him to bring him in at West Ham. You think, well, okay,
he'd be unreal in the Championship.
Oh my goodness, he would be. Yeah,
if I'm Wrexham, I am signing him.
Oh, that's a nice
showbiz. I am showbiz.
Yeah. Those arms
all day long,
and he greases them up for games as well. That
it
is
was for a bit. There was a bit he
documentary.
had end product. He did at Fulham last season. He started to, because everyone said, you're right. He's like, there's so many great attributes, but the end product was always an issue. But it looked like last season that Fulham, Marcus Silva had managed to get a tune out of him doing that.
Yeah, I think he had a little bit, but he hasn't hadn't had much of a run in the team. And I think Silva, he kind of chops and changes a bit. And Harry Wilson's been very, very good indeed.
He's really great.
I mean, he's been one of the form players in the league for probably about the last month, something like that. I think if West Ham did indeed side Adama Traore, I don't think he's the man to necessarily keep them up. But I think he would be a decent addition. But you're right, I could see him at Wrexham. They're thinking, grease those arms up, big boy. We've got a documentary to make, and you're definitely going to feature in it. Yeah,
firing them to the league.
Just looking at the top of the table, City getting Semenyo, which is interesting because he sort of plays off the left a lot, and Doku does that very well. Look, they have so many good players, City, right?
Oscar Bob, Marmouche.
Bob's
Oscar
probably
Bob
off.
players.
Might be off, I guess.
Well, Bob has been linked away, isn't he, Oscar Bob?
But do you think Arsenal go, well, they're getting Semenyo, we need to do something? Or do you think Arteta goes that we've got real strength in depth and we don't need to do anything?
I would say so. I think with the result last night and the squad depth that they have, I think Arsenal will be okay. I think, Arsenal fans should be very excited about what they saw last night because they saw a side in that second half go, you know what? We're on for it this season, and I think that I said it before in this very studio. I'll say it again. I think people are slightly underrating Arsenal, and dare I say, slightly overrating Manchester City because when Man City win kind of ugly and they get the odd goal here and there, people go, oh, they're playing badly and winning. Whereas Arsenal do it, everyone goes, oh, they're creaking, they need something. I think Arsenal have got a very impressive squad. Bear in mind, Eberechi Eze was on the bench last night. Declan Rice didn't play because he was injured, of course. Trossard's been brilliant for Arsenal. He's been, a lot of crucial moments and so on. I think you have. Look at the balance. You look at the spirit and the feeling. I think they've got quite a settled squad. I don't think. Obviously, Antoine Semenyo, I think, improves the vast majority, if not all, the teams in the land. But I don't necessarily think they need him. I think Man City are reliant on more individual moments, perhaps, than Arsenal are. And I think if Man City got some injuries to key players, as we've already seen with Arsenal, by the way, because Gabriel only came back yesterday, starting wise, I think they would be missed. So I think it's a good signing, no matter which way you cut it. But, Doku has done well this season, but he's not started every game. And, he loves to rotate, doesn't he, Guardiola? So I think he'll do well there. But, no, I think Arsenal are absolutely fine with what they have at the moment. And I'm still backing them to win the league.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
I don't know.
You're not sure?
You don't know?
Have a look at this crystal ball I've got.
I just don't.
You're not convinced? Why is that?
I just feel like they've got. I don't want to say the words bottling it, but they've got that in them.
We know.
They've got.
I'm
not saying that,
but
at some point, they'll have a blip. I think they'll have a 2 or 3 game blip, and it depends then on who doesn't have a blip at the same time.
Do you not think Man City have got a blip in them?
If in the run-in, it's Man City or Arsenal, and they're on similar points with 5 games to go. Pep has done this before.
He has.
He's done this before. He knows how to get it over the line. Arteta doesn't. And there is massive pressure on Arteta to get it done. So, look, that's all ifs and ands. And they are top of the league by 5 points as we speak.
As we speak.
As you say, Charlie, we can always end any football conversation with "we'll see."
We'll see.
Until the season actually ends. It's almost like we shouldn't do any broadcasting until the season's finished.
A lot of people
look
think
at the
that.
league tables.
Fulham may finish mid-table. We'll see.
They might do. You never know.
It's every chance, isn't it? We'll see. Hey, Marcus, have a wonderful new year. Thanks for coming in.
Marcus.
Thank you, gents.
Marcus Speller there from the Football Ramble. There are other football podcasts. I don't know any off the top of my head, but there are other ones. But Marcus's is very good. Now, don't forget, talkSPORT are giving you the chance to win £26,000 in 2026. Head to talksport.com/win to find out how to enter.
Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Some are pretty straightforward. Arsenal are the Gunners because they were founded by a group of munitions workers, and Bournemouth are the Cherries because their old stadium was built right next to a cherry orchard. Then there's Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were two local toffee shops. Ipswich Town nicked their nickname off their opponents in the late 90s, Birmingham. The term Tractor Boys was chanted as a way to tease the team about their farming background, but they started using it themselves as a way to cheer on the team in victory instead. Take that, Birmingham. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Crystal Palace's nickname came from an extreme makeover. They were having a nightmare run in the 70s, and when they were relegated, their manager, Malcolm Allison, wasn't having it. I know what will make us better, he thought, a new nickname. The Strong and Deadly Eagle sounded like a pretty good bet. And there's more to that story. Brighton used Palace's nickname to inspire their own. Ooh, a bird, they thought. Let's just pick a different one for us. And so in a heated match between the two teams back in 1976, when Palace fans began chanting "Eagles, Eagles," Brighton fans had the perfect reply: "Seagulls, Seagulls." So next time the away end's chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
Andrew writes, Happy New Year, fellas. We're off to the in-laws in Blackpool. 2 adults, 3 kids and 2 dogs all sharing a room. But I'm sure we can squeeze Simon in if he brings his own pillow, Andy in Prestwich. Well, that's tight, isn't it?
Over the Christmas and New Year period, you do find yourself sleeping on some absolute horror shows at times. People really need to invest.
What sort of Christmas have you had, Johnny?
No, but not this year. I've had some very good.
And that is no way to describe other human beings, frankly, Charlie. Absolutely.
You really can find yourself sleeping on a very thin mattress, or with a spring in your head, or any of those.
Have you had that? Have you had that?
Not this.
Come down for breakfast. You said.
Not
did you sleep well, Charlie? And you say yes, thank you.
I'm very lucky, Max.
They've got to get the futon done. You can. Okay,
I can sleep almost anywhere.
Wow, you could be a Marine.
Absolutely anywhere. I can snooze anywhere. I can sleep anywhere. I can say
like Jack Reacher.
Have 20 minutes. I'll have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The key is
I can sleep.
Set a time.
Well, you've just got to. Like many things, Jack Reacher and I have a lot in common.
Yeah. Okay.
And it is, and he often says, "Sleep when you can." Because, you just never know.
Yeah.
And
that's like having children as well, isn't it, Max, of course?
Well, exactly. It is parents of very young children and Marines have this in common. It's sleep when you can, because you just don't know. So you just got to get in. If there's a dark little corner, get in, lie down.
Under cover of darkness.
Exactly. And you'd never know when the enemy are going to strike. And they do strike. So
at all times.
It's tricky. John at Deb's Ironing Shop in Wakefield.
Hello, John.
Show.
Happy New Year to
John.
you.
Good afternoon, good morning, chaps. Happy New Year. We're staying in tonight. Beef chili with rice. Lovely. Just had a new mattress delivery. Can't wait to try it out tonight. Luxury.
I hope it's a good one.
Do you want Simon? The text topic, if you're just joining the programme, is in 2018, I think, I did mid-mornings with Simon Jordan. He didn't have any plans for New Year's Eve. And so we said, what are you doing tonight? And can Simon Jordan come? We got lots of excitement. I get the feeling he didn't actually follow through with any of the offers.
Oh, that's a shame.
But
Simon
he did
Jordan
enjoy the
follow
topic.
Through? 8, 10, 18.
That's not. That is not.
8, 10, 89.
That's not the text topic.
Is it not? No, it's not. And no one's rung in singing the voice yet. That's a shame, isn't it?
Has no one done a voice note?
No one's done one voice note.
I quite like your spontaneous ideas, and
quite like them. That's nice. After
one.
6 years. John at Deb's Ironing Shop.
What's he saying?
I'm a bit worried that he's having beef chili and rice.
Okay.
Beef chili and rice, and then testing out his new mattress.
Right.
Which, if the beef chili is at all off, this is bad news for the new mattress.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not going to be straight away, isn't it? Hang on, you said you had a new quiz, Charlie. New quiz idea.
No, it was Kaplunk.
Kaplunk.
It was Kaplunk on the radio. We don't have a set. We need a set of Kaplunk to carry on. Now we're waiting on Gary, aren't we, Max?
Yeah, we're waiting on Gary.
And
But that's
Gary's
okay,
booked for 2 sections, and Gary has so far not turned up. So this could be a long. It's going to be a long 20 minutes for us all. Do you have any bits from the Daily Star for us, Max?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
I've got loads. What
have you got? To quote Paul, what have you got for us, Andy?
What I've got for you, Andy? Well, would you like something from... This is from the 5th of October, 2019.
I'd love
because
that.
when I moved... moved to Australia, I put all the bits. Andy Jacobs credits the fact that I actually prepared. He didn't think I prepared for any show I'd ever done.
Oh.
And until he'd worked with me and he told me I should prepare. So what I've done is copied Andy Jacobs. I sellotaped all my things, all the little notes.
Oh, very nice.
And when I emigrated, this was all I took.
It came with you.
Much like Jack Reacher, The Littlest Hobo. I just put all my clippings.
Like the £10 pom that you are.
Exactly, yeah.
Getting on the boat with your bits from the Daily Star and nothing
from the 5th of
else to your
October
name.
2019. 5th of October 2019.
Yes,
so I didn't read it out in 2019 or 2020 or 2021.
Wow,
Japan Airlines
We've been waiting
introducing
5 years for this, 6 years for this.
6 years for this.
Nearly got into its seventh year, but it's not.
This is
it's not
good
managed
stuff.
to get into its seventh year. Here we go, 6 years in the waiting.
Japan Airlines
Oh, yeah.
is introducing an online booking tool that will display where seats have been booked for infants so that other passengers can select seats away from them. The child icon will pop up and to alert customers to the presence of children aged between 8 days and 2 years.
Wow.
What? So, but the issue here is clearly, if Cobbler says, I sent in a voice note of John Farnham, please play.
I think they're
it."
being
I put in
ignored.
a-
I'm just looking at our
put in a
producer
lot
who's
of
not
effort.
listening. Our producer's not listening to
Come
the
on.
output, which is a
Get
shame.
these
There are
notes
voice
ready.
notes coming in, and no one's playing them out. People are putting
After
a lot
the
of
break,
effort.
we'll go full John Farnham. Thank you, Cobblers, for
Okay, so
reminding us of that.
on
But the
Japanese
issue is,
Japanese airline, yeah.
but the issue is, what if you've purposefully moved away from a child who's 8 days old?
Yeah.
But you're sat next to a child who's 7 days old. There's not a discernible difference.
There's no difference.
Or what if you sat next to someone who's 2 years and 1 day?
Yeah.
I don't think Japan Airlines have thought it
I don't
through.
think they've thought that through. Do we know 6 years later if they're still doing it?
Don't know. I haven't.
I'd like them to also go. There's a really boring bloke sitting here. He will talk to you about Formula One for 3 hours. This woman here, she wants to talk you through her interior design plan.
I was sat when I last flew from the UK back to Australia. The man next to me, so I was in the aisle with my family on the right, but the guy in the aisle on the left, on his iPad, was watching for honestly the whole flight reviews of automatic weapons. It was so like it was, there is a
say it, sort it.
It was just like, and what I couldn't work out is, I was like, this is terrifying that this exists. People really love guns.
Maybe that was his business. Maybe he was in the business.
Yeah, maybe he was, but it was just like, I really wanted to say, what are you doing? Like, the world is better without these.
Yeah.
But
I was on a
didn't
train
wanna have
this year,
conversation.
and a man got up and started talking to the whole carriage about his self-published book on Formula One.
I guess that's what you have
on
to do,
Formula
isn't
One.
it?
He was trying to sell it to people on the train in the carriage. He'd written a book on the history of Formula One himself. He self-published it.
Oh no!
And he was going. He wasn't even going door to door. He was going seat to seat to sell this book.
And people don't want to be talked to on a train.
I don't want anyone to talk to me on a train. Don't talk to me on a train.
Formula One nut. You got to Martin Brundle, they'd be like, "Sorry, mate, not today."
I'm not interested. I'm afraid.
Do you know what? This is a slight tangent, but similar. Me and Jamie were in a B&B in Sussex, and then we'd been for it was quite bracing out. We'd been for a big country walk back in the good days before kids, and we got in at about 4, and we were like, we get a cup of tea, and we're sat in like the communal living room area, and the guy who owns the B&B, so his wife runs it, and he's sort of in and out. But we just say, look, have you got Scrabble? We just like a game of Scrabble.
That'd be a nice idea. Yeah.
And he said, I've got something a bit better than Scrabble. And we're a bit like, we sort of wanted to play Scrabble, but okay, we just say, all right.
I know what's coming here. Okay, carry on.
He's come down and he said, give this a try and let me know what you think. And the board game was called Clips with a Z, and it was the most convoluted game with like a sort of mahogany board about news moments from history which had been condensed into 100 letters, right? And then you had to like pick up the letters somewhere. Anyway, so we did this, and eventually I read the instructions, and he had invented the game. Right?
Yeah,
he didn't tell us
what
that it was his game.
And would you like
So
to
anyway,
buy clips?
No. But then his wife comes home, and she sort of opens the living room and just sees us playing this game, and she's like, "Oh, not again."
He's got clips out.
He's got clips for the Z. He's got clips. Not again. There's like the
We
you
asked
can
for
imagine
Scrabble.
The loft is full of clips.
It's like
clips
you
with
were getting
Z.
a Tesco delivery and you asked for spaghetti. And you
I've always
got
said this before.
a tin of tuna.
My friend Clive ordered all butter croissants and was replaced with a multivitamin tablet.
Oh, no.
Anyway, Tony Afoki is going to join us.
Oh,
He's
good.
covering AFCON for talkSPORT. And Alex Iwobi gave him some muffins yesterday, so we'll talk about that in just a second. Matt writes, you've got some front talking about foisting invented games on people, Max. Remember Jolly Hockey Sticks?
Oh, yeah.
You talk about it as if it's something.
What a game that is.
You talk about it as if it's a thing of the past, Matt.
2026 Jolly Hockey Sticks.
2026 is Jolly Hockey Sticks years. Do you know when they go things that are in, and it'll be flares, mullets,
baggy trousers,
Jolly Hockey Sticks. Baggy trousers are in. Are they? Oh, good stuff.
They're really in.
Are the kids wearing baggy trousers around the office?
All the kids have been wearing baggy trousers for a year, and now they've sort of got down to middle-aged dad wear. So really? We're back down to that. If you're in skinny jeans, though, you are out.
Oh dear. Let's talk to our friend Tony Afoki.
Oh, good.
We made him what he is. Let's be real, and now he's our man at AFCON out in Morocco. Hey Tony, how are you?
Hello, Tony.
Hey guys, how are you guys?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, it's nice to see you. Now, this is exciting. I saw on your Instagram was Alex Iwobi handed you a packet of chocolate muffins, and you were there in the mix zone, and it looked to me, Tony, as if you'd never opened a packet of anything before in your entire life.
Do you know what? I saw your comment on Instagram yesterday, and I'm glad I've got the time to explain this because my girlfriend messaged me the exact same thing. It was a tray of muffins, right? And I said I only wanted one. And so, obviously, I'm a professional. I had my microphone in one hand, muffins in the other.
Oh, yeah.
I opened it quite well, but trying to get into the packet of muffins was quite difficult. And as you can see in the video, if you go over onto my Instagram, at Tony Afoke, it looks quite hard. Like, I haven't really got the thing handed. So, yes, I have opened a packet of muffins before, but in particular, that one was a bit hard.
I like you say, like any professional, microphone in one hand, muffins in the other. As if that's at radio school, that's the way you're taught. So how was it? They're doing well, actually, aren't they, Nigeria? Aren't they? So presumably in a good mood, handing out muffins.
Yeah, 100%. I don't think Alex Iwobi would have given me those muffins if we lost. But they won 3 out of 3 group stage games. They beat Uganda yesterday 3-1 in Fez, and they rotated a couple of players as well. Alex Iwobi didn't play, Wilfred Ndidi didn't play, Ademola Lookman didn't play as well. But one thing about this Nigeria squad is that they rotated, but the people they brought in, for instance, in the midfield, Raphael Onyedinka and Fisayo Deli Bashiru, these are players that play Champions League football. Raphael Onyedinka plays for Club Brugge and he got a brace yesterday. So the fact that Nigeria can bring in these players who play Champions League football, don't even start for Nigeria, it's a good sign at the moment. And personally, this is the best I've seen Nigeria play in a long time.
Yeah, I mean the thing about the group stages, we're almost in the group stages because basically it's 24 teams down to 16. There isn't that much jeopardy, right? Like there's sort of there's been some exciting games and it's good for these players to hit form, but it isn't. It's like you'll probably get like Tanzania are through with 2 points, aren't they? Which is great for Tanzania, right? That's an amazing achievement for those guys. Given some of the levels that those players play, but it doesn't mean there's not been huge jeopardy yet.
Yeah, there hasn't been. And I think that's the story of this year's AFCON. There hasn't been that much huge jeopardy. Like normally last year at this stage, Ivory Coast had sacked their manager as the host nation. They were going through on 3 points with like -3 goal difference, and they were just waiting on whoever loses and the goal difference, stuff like that. But this year, all the big boys have been playing well. All the big teams have been going through. It's nice that Sudan have got through as well. They've got through as one of the third-best teams. But yeah, the fact you can get in on 2 points as well, there hasn't been that much jeopardy, which is quite surprising for the AFCON.
I've just watched the video of you opening the muffins. I think you're being done a disservice, Tony, if I'm honest. Do
you think?
He's done a great job there. He has been handed the muffins by Alex Iwobi, which was not something you're expecting in the mix zone. To be picked out by Iwobi as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And then you've got a microphone in one hand. I agree with you, Tony. I think you've done a great job.
You know what, Charlie? Okay. I did need that. I really did need that because people are not trying to agree with me. Max is not the only person who's been questioning me opening this packet of muffins. Yeah. So I'm really glad that I'm really glad that Charlie, you agree with me.
I understand that you're not expecting the muffins to be handed to you by Alex Iwobi, but it's not like a shocking thing. A packet of things is not a shocking thing to bet. Anyway, Morocco, right, are hot favourites. Their squad is amazing. Look at some of the players like Brahim Diaz in their squad. El Khabi just has scored 2 overhead kicks already, and actually has like a whole YouTube reel of overhead kicks. It's like his Cruyff turn. But I was hearing that their manager was booed before the game against Zambia because they're not playing exciting enough football.
Well, see, I was at that game and I didn't really get any boos. But one thing I did ask about Moroccan fans is that the second game against Mali, they expected more. And Mali are not a bad side. You've got the likes of Yves Bissouma, Habib Diarra as well. You've got some good players who play in top 5 leagues in Europe. But Morocco didn't play well. But when they beat Zambia, you could see from minute one they were all over the Zambians, and that was the performance the Moroccan fans wanted. Because even though they're the host nation, Morocco are coming off the back of that World Cup where the whole world's eyes were on them.
Yeah.
And they reached the semi-final. So now that the fact that they're hosting this AFCON, they're just expected to win it. But really and truly, if you ask Moroccan fans, they don't think they're the favourite. Their heart believes so, but their head thinks, you know what, if we go up against a Senegal or Nigeria, those are the teams that could probably beat us. But they do have a lot of great players. Like the fact they can bring on people like Bilal El Khanous off the bench, Brahim Diaz as well. Achraf Hakimi made his first appearance as well, so he'll be back within the knockout stages. So Morocco are going to be a side to beat. But at the same time, I think the Moroccan fans just wanted more before that game.
A lot of people giving Hakimi the shout of greatest African player ever, Tony, I noticed. Oof.
Yeah, I think that's just home nation bias, I guess, because I guess he's the reigning African player of the year, but I wouldn't call him the greatest African player ever so far. You have the likes of George Weah, who won a Ballon d'Or. For me and my generation, I think it's
George Weah's cousin, of course, as well.
Well, JJ Okocha, come on, who once played 60 minutes before Chris Hughton was forced to take him off and bring me on in a charity game, and then told me to keep the ball. You say, look, if JJ's not doing it, I may struggle. Look, you mentioned Senegal. They topped their group. Congo second. Congo scored a brilliant goal, didn't they? Gael Kakuta, formerly that Chelsea youth, about 100 years ago, backheeled it to some Mkuku, I think it was, who I had not heard of until he scored this goal, but it's one of my favourite goals of the tournament so far.
Yeah, 100%. It's honestly, when I saw that Gael Kakuta got called up for the Democratic Republic of Congo, I was so surprised because, I don't know, for some nations this year, it feels like they're just getting back one of those nostalgia players, like Wilfried Zaha's playing for Ivory Coast, Gael Kakuta for the DR Congo as well. I was thinking, you know what, can Nigeria call up JJ Okocha if he's still fit? But who knows? Maybe Max Rushden, do you have any Nigerian roots that you don't know about?
Oh, very nice. I'm saying no, Tony.
I don't think.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't.
I'll have to ask.
Knowing
Dad,
Max as I do, knowing what I think about his family and his sort of, I don't know.
Judge.
I'm not judging Max.
You never know. Ancestry.com, guys. You never know.
Never know. Yeah.
You don't know. So a couple of groups still to go. You've got Burkina Faso and Sudan sort of fighting it out for second spot in Group E, but 3 points will get you through, right? And same in Group F. You've got Ivory Coast, Cameroon, both on 4. I think Cameroon's an interesting story, isn't it, Tony? That they had 2 managers before the tournament, and the sports ministry had hired one, and the FA or whatever had hired someone else, and they both picked squads, going, "This is my squad. I'm the manager." And and eventually one of them went, "Sorry, you're not actually the Cameroon. You're not actually the Cameroon manager. This squad you've picked is just like somebody tweeting it out." Is that right?
Yeah, it was a confusing one. It was to do with Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o's got quite a high standpoint in the Cameroon FA, and there was the manager they had before and the manager they have now, but one of them is Samuel Eto'o's guy, and the other one's not. So the original one had people like Andre Onana, had Vincent Abubakar as well. But then there's another squad came out, and it's completely different. And lo and behold, I think Samuel Eto'o got his way. The manager, when they played their first game, thanked Samuel Eto'o, so clearly he had much influence. And I guess I think it's all to do with Samuel Eto'o. One thing I did notice is when Nigeria, when they knocked out Cameroon in the last AFCON, all I remember is Samuel Eto'o going down to the mix zone, berating a lot of people. So he has a lot of influence in that Cameroon FA. So I know there was a bit of a difference, but put it this way, whatever Samuel Eto'o says goes, and he got his win in the end.
Fine. I'm with that. Hey, thank you, Tony. Lovely to chat. And I suppose the next time somebody hands you a packet, if you put the microphone, you could put that down, open it with two hands.
How are you going to broadcast it, though, then? If
what you're broadcasting, okay, you're making good.
If I'm just chucking the muffins back on the floor at Iwobi's feet.
Okay.
No, next time I'll put the microphone down, get the packet, and then do it.
Was it a nice muffin?
No, it was terrible because
That's why he gave them away.
Yeah, they were not good at all. It was all crushed. I think it was maybe the way I opened it. They were all crushed. It wasn't the best of muffins. So.
Fair enough. Alex Iwobi serves terrible muffins. That's what we've learned. Thank you, Tony. Enjoy the tournament. We'll chat soon.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thanks, Tony.
Our man out of AFCON, Tony Afoki there. We've got one John Farnham, Charlie.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. Yeah, lovely.
We'll do it after the news. Keep this here. Voice notes of John Farnham's The Voice. We're all someone's false, our daughter. We're all someone's son. Oh, I break whenever you like.
Formula One. It's a sport often seen as insular and elitist, but it's seen a meteoric rise under its owners Liberty Media, not only in popularity and viewership, but in the ability to almost print money. From greater access to more races, here's how it happened. For decades, Formula One was owned and run by one man, Bernie Ecclestone. He was old school, someone who thought the sport itself was enough, and there was no need for all this modern marketing and social media nonsense. But in 2016, Ecclestone agreed to sell his baby to American group Liberty Media. It cost Liberty Media $4.4 billion, and they quickly got to work. We got an F1 app almost immediately, and teams were allowed to show us more from behind the scenes. One of Liberty's most important deals was with Netflix, which in 2019 brought us Drive to Survive. The effect? An almost 70% rise in viewership for races in the US alone. It's massively benefited Formula One online too, with a rise from 7.8 million followers across its social media platforms in 2016 to around 50 million today. New eyes are on the sport too, with F1's own subscription TV channel, which people can watch anywhere in the world. But the main market they've tapped into is the US. There's now 3 races there a year, in Texas, Miami and Las Vegas, and an American-branded team, Cadillac, getting involved in the sport too. More races seems to be the direction of travel. A street circuit in Madrid's being welcomed onto the calendar, while conversations around a Grand Prix in Africa have ramped up in the last few years. More big events could be in the offing too, after the massive F1 75 season launch event in London in 2025. 7.5 million people tuned in to watch it live across their social media channels, and that doesn't include the viewing figures for where it was broadcast on TV in certain countries. It seems Liberty will do whatever they can to grow the F1 brand. Their efforts have been worthwhile too, with Forbes valuing the sport at $17.1 billion back in 2023, almost 4 times more than what they bought it for in 2016. Not bad, considering it's seen as a sport where people just drive around in circles.
Do you want a compliment, Charlie?
Only up to you. No problem.
Yo, Dan says, just wanted to say a quick thank you for the laughs and silliness throughout the year. Silliness? How dare you?
That's nice. We're very sensible journalists, sports journalists.
Although we are taking your voice notes of singing John Farnham's The Voice. Hasn't been the this year for me. Tuning into you guys, being a regular texter, occasional 2-word phone-inner on a Saturday or with Baz and Son has been a great comfort and breakaway from life's little struggles. I had the pleasure of meeting Charlie after his work in progress in Leicester in February. He was kind enough to even record a personal little go-get-it for my son, who loves it. Mark of the man, he says. Come on, Charlie's not that goose. He's not that good. He's not a Mark of the man type.
Very nice guy.
He's a nice fella.
A very kind person.
That's the Mark of the man.
That is the Mark of me, Max.
That's overstating
That is the Mark of the man.
Thank you for all you do.
Took time out for people.
Go get it, eat it. Everything is showbiz. Barry's here too. Thank you, Dan.
Very nice. Thank you for coming, Dan. And thank you for your input.
Let's talk to the broadcaster and journalist John Bruin, who was at the Emirates last night. Hey, John.
Hello there. Happy to join 2 human catchphrase machines.
Yeah, that's the mark of the man, John. It's the mark of. I feel like that could be a good new catchphrase for me.
Yeah, good. I just sort of mark. It just sort of feels like that sort of like Obama. It's the mark of a man, not
You're
some
doing me down
idiot
there,
from
Max.
Devon.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
I don't know. Anyway, how was the Emirates, John? A statement
John.
performance there from the Gunners.
A statement second half performance, could we say that?
Yeah.
I think
we can.
The first half atmosphere, and this is my first visit to the Emirates this season, was, I think the word is febrile, panicky, angst-ridden, the referee's name taken in repeated vain, because things really weren't going very well for them, and Aston Villa had their chances. Ollie Watkins will regret one in particular. He'll also regret William Saliba's great sliding tackle. And then it all changed. And it felt like having Gabriel back to bundle in a ball from Bukayo Saka, it just felt like it was September, October all over again, and Arsenal were Arsenal again. And Odegaard was playing the passes that we expect of him, and brilliant pass for Zubimendi to score. And then, Gyökeres had that first half of purgatory, you'd have to say. It wasn't happening for him. They bring on Gabriel Jesus. He scores after a minute. I think he's the only player that's got a Premier League title winner's medal in that team. And suddenly all is roses, and Arsenal look what they should be because they have the best squad, the best team again.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it, that what happens if Watkins scores that? It's such a brilliant chance, and sort of when you think about Watkins, and I think he's such a brilliant player, but just that different level between him and, your absolute elite centre forwards of, you get one chance and you take it and it changes the game, because it feels such a huge moment in that game.
Yeah, I mean, Watkins is a fine Premier League player, but he's not in the Kane, Lewandowski, Haaland league, is he? He plays for Aston Villa. That's what they can afford. And much of the build-up was about the alchemy that Unai Emery has brought to Aston Villa, but it can only take you so far if players don't take chances, and you get an injury to a key player in that game in Amadou Onana. And suddenly, Arsenal, who had lost control of midfield, had control back. And it was a shame for Villa because, they are a streaky team. They go on these long streaks. Emery's teams go on long streaks. That he went on one at Arsenal, of course, when he was manager there. And actually, here's the thing. Actually, I had no idea, and I might be wrong here, but the enmity or the distaste Arsenal fans have for both Emery and Emi Martinez, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I remember Martinez serving Arsenal really quite well.
Yeah.
Won an FA Cup with them. In those days, we used to know him as Damiano Martinez, which always confused me when he became one of the world's best goalkeepers.
He is an absolute S-house, isn't he, John?
Yes, of course.
He does like to wind everybody up, and that's probably what that is.
Yeah, I think so. But, I don't know about you chaps, but players returning to the club, except your club, except your real Judases that join bitter rivals, you tend to get a warm applause.
A bit of an applause, exactly.
Appreciation. And I think that Emery, the job that he did at Arsenal, on reflection, perhaps wasn't as bad as people think, as Arsenal fans might paint. Listen, Arteta rules the kingdom now. They're a much better team than they were then. But remember the situation Emery inherited. It's worked out well for everybody because, Emery went back to Spain, won the Europa League. He's now making Villa into a force.
Yeah.
So, and then there was the handshake thing, which I always think is a real TV event. If you're at the game, and I did notice there wasn't a handshake. And then suddenly, that's the focus of post-match. Did you shake his hand? Why didn't you shake his hand? Emery giving that rather passive-aggressive response to it. Well, passive-aggressive plus maniacal laughter at the idea of it. The idea that he had to shake hands. And, a couple of questions in press conference about shaking hands, and you could see Arteta's just like, this doesn't matter. We've just beaten Aston Villa 4-1.
It was Ollie Watkins' birthday, just so you know. Probably
Happy
why he missed
birthday.
that chance. So he might have been full of cake or something. But
or just thinking about his party. He's thinking about he was going to Rollerberry. He was doing Laser Quest afterwards. He had these things to think about.
John, those words you used, John, febrile, panicky, all those things about the crowd. I don't know if that was if that comes from Arteta and his team. I doubt it. But those aren't emotions you want in a stadium when you're going for the title, are they?
No, they're not. But in fact, I was writing a piece today about how that is what you get in every ground these days. I think the way fans behave these days, the way it is almost, and it might be to do with the times we live in. It might be to do with the fact that people pay so much more money. But there is an expectancy when things aren't going quite so well. And Arsenal are the best team in the league, and even their fans are getting worried and angsty. And this idea that we can all remember of get behind the lads and show unity maybe only exists these days in the eye of victory.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I do understand if you come second twice and you beat someone lucky that you're just like, oh guys, come on.
Not
Dan
again,
says very, very salty review of Arsenal's performance. If Arteta didn't shake Emery's hand, you lot would have a meltdown. We would have done three.
No, I wouldn't say us lot wouldn't, but some people.
No, I don't care.
I do like that Emery just said it was cold. So I was just a bit chilly.
That's a great answer.
Yeah, I hate to bring you down, John. You're a Manchester United fan.
Yes,
and there are these constants through life, but there's constants through Manchester United of what formation Amram is playing. I just almost can't handle. He's gone back to a back three. Like you say, you don't care about the handshake. I should care, I guess, about what formation Man United are playing, but I can't bring myself to care. And then you think, oh, maybe they're doing all right. They're sixth. They just beat Newcastle in a bit. They got Wolves, and then bang, they give Wolves a point. They've, that's like half what they points they already had, basically.
Do you know what? This is a bit of Manchester United legacy. Football. What was the phrase Jose Mourinho used? But basically, essentially, Manchester United often do this against the worst teams in the league. Do you remember the Derby team? The Derby team that all other teams must try and pass so that they're not the worst ever back in 2007-8.
Yeah.
I remember that Manchester United team that won the Champions League that season struggled with that Derby team. And going even further back, the previous record was Stoke City back in 84-85, and they beat Big Ron's Cavaliers that season. And so maybe it's just a Manchester United tradition. Maybe this is it. Football heritage, that's a phrase. And that's what Ruben Amorim is following in. Yes, but his own heritage, as we know, is even if 4-4-2 or 4 at the back is working, he can't help himself. And they're going to play 3 at the back because that's just what he does because he knows best.
So funny.
It didn't come as a shock, did it? If anyone's going to slip up, it's going to be that Manchester United.
That's what it felt like, didn't it? That was always going to happen, actually, looking at it.
Yeah. Do you know what was so annoying was Wolves had a corner in injury time, and I was like, this is the moment. Just, and he did, and then the Wolves guy didn't beat the first man. Of course he didn't. You're like, oh, come on. Get it in the mixer. This could be such a beautiful moment for anybody not a Man United fan who grew up in the 90s just waiting for Wolves' first win to be at Old Trafford. There'd been so many celebrations. So anyway, well, that's nice, John. Are you positive about Amrim for 2026? Are you positive about United for 2026?
Will Amrim still be there this time next year, John, or is he going to last 2026?
No. There's my prediction. No.
Okay.
That will come to its end, I think. What comes next, I could not tell you. There's other clubs with, we didn't even get onto Chelsea because, there's another happy camp, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
Glasner's a good manager, isn't he, John?
Well, until he joins Manchester United, that's probably the case. Yeah,
it's like Spurs. Anyone, just don't go there. Eventually, people will go, I'm not going to United. I'm not going to Spurs. Hey, John, have a lovely New Year. Thanks so much
John.
for coming on.
Happy New Year, chaps.
Happy New Year.
John Bruin there. Lee in Stourbridge says, Max Charlie, people seem to miss the fact Marino should have been sent off. He should have been, yeah. All he did in the first half was hack at Tielemans, Onana and Rodgers. He was lucky to stay on the pitch. He was lucky to stay on the pitch. That's true. Someone's just sent me Jeff Bezos, a video of him kicking off the new year. This is the richest man in the world. And it's just...
Where's he, down at the Mucky Duck?
No, he's at some awful beach bar with lots of women in bikinis on motorbikes and someone bringing in a bottle of champagne and with a fire coming out the top. It's so crass. You can have all the money in the world, but you can still be just a massive...
Mark of the man.
Yeah, mark of the man, isn't it? Pay some tax, Jeff. Let's do a two-word phone-in, Charlie.
Yes,
come on, let's do it. Here's the question. Will 2026 be good? Is that it?
That's it. Will it be any good? Will it be any good?
Will 2026 be any good? Two words only. 2 words only. 03717 22 3344. Will 2026 be any good? Or should we write it off and go straight to 2027? Will 2026 be any good? 03717 22 3344. We've got some John Farnham voice notes as well. We are kicking off. We're ending 2025 in style.
We are
like no one else. But here we are. 03717 22 3344. 2 words only. Will 2026 be any good? Phone us now. Good afternoon, it is Max Rushden Charlie Baker with you until 4 with Toolstation. Stay one step ahead, whatever the job. Next stop, Toolstation. The two-word phone in 03717 223344. Will 2026 be any good? Will 2026
just two
be
words.
Any good? 03717 223344. Just 2 words, 3 words. Never call again.
Never
Let's
call
do
again.
it, Charlie. Let's play.
Let's go.
What's the best goal, Andy?
Josimar.
Oh, lovely. Just one word needed.
Canio!
Ian is a Man City fan. What's the best year, Ian?
2012, Aguero!
Oh, never call again. Too many words. Don't use your phone again. Michael, throw your SIM card out of your phone. Throw it out the window. Drive over
Burn your phone. Burn it.
Michael's a Preston fan. What's the best goal?
Poppycock.
What a great phone in.
Phone in.
Oh, here we go then. Let's start then. Connor is an Aston Villa fan. Connor.
Hello, Connor.
We've lost Connor. Daz is a Port Vale fan. Daz is a Port Vale fan. Will 2026 be any good?
You Lions.
You Irons.
You Irons,
Colin is a
sure.
Sunderland fan. Colin, will 2026 be any good?
Definitely, maybe.
Definitely, maybe. Nice. Bit of Oasis
Kevin is a
stuff.
Stoke
Lovely.
City fan.
Go on, Kev.
Kevin, will 2026 be any good?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bezos. Oh, yeah, good. That's a solid phone in, wasn't it?
Very
John
good phone in.
says. Apologies, just called for the two-word phone in, but my client has emerged from Harrods. I need to drive them home. Thanks so much. Do you know what? I enjoyed that phone.
I enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
It doesn't. I suppose we're no clearer if we think about it.
It's like it's not like it was an exact science. It feels like we're no clear on whether it's going to be any good or not.
No, but we can't. We're not here to do science.
It's also about humans defined the year as 365 days max. That isn't a scientific thing. That's been put onto it. So actually, what you just do is try and live each moment.
That's like Robbie Earnshaw's tweet, which I loved so much. Going, it's let me find the exact phrase.
Find the exact phrase. Yeah, you just got to live. Each bit.
It's
as
really
comes.
good. Robert Earnshaw Sunday. That's what he said. Big fan of the show.
Oh yeah.
And he said, and he tweeted this on the 17th of May 2020.
Oh, yeah,
there is zero evidence that today is Sunday. We're all kind of relying on the fact somebody has kept an accurate count since the first one ever.
That is true. That is true. And you know what? You can't argue with that.
At some point during history, someone would have missed a day.
They will have.
They go, is it Tuesday or is it Wednesday?
So we don't know.
Cicero, is it Euripides? Is it Tuesday? I think
What day
it's
is it?
Wednesday.
They'll have got lost between Christmas and New Year. Definitely.
Probably. It's in one of those. Absolutely. Do you know what? I know you talked about it yesterday, and it happened on 2 days ago, whatever day that was.
That was Sunday, was it?
But the Charlton Athletic
Monday.
Portsmouth Charlton.
Oh yes. That really threw some stuff up.
I mean, did you do a text on it or something?
No. We just had a little chat about it yesterday. But yes, Charlton Athletic v Portsmouth. There's some great stuff online.
Oh, so much good stuff. If you haven't seen it, and almost everyone would have done, Charlton equalised in the 97th minute, right? And their fans, loads of people film themselves at the game now to do YouTube channels and stuff, and good luck to them, that's fine.
Yeah.
And they're doing this big chant to the Portsmouth fans who are right there, the fans who've chosen to sit next to the away end going, we never lose at Fratton Park. We never lose at Fratton Park.
Oh, they sing it that
we
way.
never lose
I'm pleased you
at
told.
Fratton Park.
Actually, Max, I'm pleased you told me the tune because I was trying to work out the tune they were doing. And
That's what they were doing.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And it turns out they hadn't lost for 20 years. Not an interesting stat. Charlton haven't lost at Fratton Park for 20 years. Don't care. But literally as they do it, and the timing is so perfect. That chant lives its life, and chants do, and everyone knows when they just sort of fade out. And as it fades out, the South Korean player who's on loan, I forget his name, on loan from Spurs, scores for Portsmouth. And you just, obviously, it's amazing because the timing is just so brilliant. Yeah. And I just try and think there are so many of us who spend a lot of time either writing or broadcasting about football. And what we try, of course, there's lots of, there's lots of ways to analyse the game, but we're all trying to basically sum up what the point of this is.
Yeah.
And like to articulate that what is being a football fan. What is it really like?
You're trying to be the Portsmouth fans at that moment, aren't you? That's what you're trying to be.
But it's so amazing that moment happens, and it basically says this, and you can see the Charlton fans. And okay, when you film yourself for a YouTube channel, you are performing, so it is more performative than usual. But you can just see around the fans around these guys, and even them. One of them just sort of laughs, and it's just like, I can't. Yeah. You can't even celebrate in the 97th.
Well, I was saying we all think that only happens to us. As a Spurs and a Cambridge fan, Max, you will think that only happens to you. As a Torquay fan, I think that only a typical us. That I don't think there's any team that thinks, that never happens to us. We're always winning in the 91st minute.
You're absolutely right.
Classic moment.
And then there was this, and then they cut to the other end, and somebody is filming in the Portsmouth end, and just as the striker, he's got the ball, and then this bloke just goes, effing shoot, bang, and he shoots like that. Yeah. It goes in, and you're like, this is the greatest viral moment in the history of football, and like the best moment of the year, and it happened on just like 2 days before the end of 2025. It was so brilliant. Just thank you to everyone thank you for the Charlton for equalising when you did, for the fans to sing that song with just so much conviction. We haven't lost, we never lose. Oh yes, you do, mate. What's that? If you put that in a sort of TV drama or like a show or something, and it's a bit too convoluted, wouldn't work out like that. It wouldn't. That's not how it would be. That's too stereotypical, but just brilliant. Yeah. So well done, everybody, for all of that. Paul says, Happy New Year, lads. Me and the missus were at Fratton Park. I'll be honest, it ended the year beautifully. Play up, Pompey. Ollie says, the callers on the two-word phone in are not of the same standard these days. 2012, Aguero, says Ollie.
Well, always depends on the question. Maybe we asked the wrong question, but they were good.
Maybe it was the wrong question.
Good. Thank you for calling in.
It was fine. Wolves got a point yesterday, and we should celebrate this because it's only happened twice so far this season. So we will chat Wolves in just a second and see if they see that as a turning point.
Premier League teams have got a load of crazy nicknames. Ever wondered where they came from? Some are pretty straightforward. Arsenal are the Gunners because they were founded by a group of munitions workers, and Bournemouth are the Cherries because their old stadium was built right next to a cherry orchard. Then there's Everton. They're dubbed the Toffees, but why? Well, because when the club was formed, just down the road there were 2 local toffee shops. Ipswich Town nicked their nickname off their opponents in the late 90s, Birmingham. The term Tractor Boys was chanted as a way to tease the team about their farming background, but they started using it themselves as a way to cheer on the team in victory instead. Take that, Birmingham. Let's head to Leicester, famous for more than just a red, well, orangey cheese and Jamie Vardy. Leicestershire's also the birthplace of fox hunting, hence the Foxes. Crystal Palace's nickname came from an extreme makeover. They were having a nightmare run in the 70s, and when they were relegated, their manager, Malcolm Allison, wasn't having it. I know what will make us better, he thought, a new nickname. The Strong and Deadly Eagle sounded like a pretty good bet. And there's more to that story. Brighton used Palace's nickname to inspire their own. Ooh, bird, they thought. Let's just pick a different one for us. And so, in a heated match between the two teams back in 1976, when Palace fans began chanting "Eagles, Eagles," Brighton fans had the perfect reply: "Seagulls, Seagulls." So next time the away ends chanting their crazy nickname, you'll now know exactly where it came from.
26k for 2026 on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT is already looking ahead to an exciting year. 2026, the next one, and we're giving you the chance to win a massive £26,000. Don't wait for our £27,000 giveaway next year. Do it now for this one. 26 grand, our biggest New Year cash giveaway. It could be yours. Here's how to enter.
For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 423 9761. Lines close 12 p.m. 9th of January 2026. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. UK residents only, 18 plus. This is a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksport.com/win. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Now, good luck.
Do you know what? When we first did that competition in 1AD, it was disappointing for the cause. We just gave away a quid.
What do I want a pound for? I'm not going to call in for a pound. The call costs a pound.
Yeah, exactly. Phones was expensive to call in those days as well. Because there weren't many phones. There was just one phone.
Just one phone.
And everyone had to. The phone in was terrible.
Hello,
in 1AD, wasn't it? No one rang in 1AD. Adrian was like, why has no one called the phone in? This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
anyway, Wolves got a point yesterday.
Yes.
And a creditable point at Old Trafford. Let's talk to Ryan Lester, who's the host of the Wolves Report and joins us now. Happy New Year, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
Happy New Year, gents. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
A point. I mean, I'm trying to phrase this question without sounding patronising, but when you've only got two, getting another one is good.
Yeah, it's not a bad point at all. The predictions on talkSPORT from one of the hosts saying I think it might have been Mr. Goldstein that was predicting an absolute smashing for Man United. We had other ideas, and it was a creditable point, but equally Wolves fans thought they probably could have taken all three come the end of that game. I mean, that's not because Wolves were brilliant. They were decent, but it's probably one of the poorest Man United teams we've seen in a while. But equally, credit to Wolves, it's a point we'll absolutely take.
Sure. And do you sense that the team... Because I've sort of thought this at the start of the season, that actually they weren't playing as badly as the results suggested. And then eventually you start thinking, well, maybe they are. And a few of the games have been pretty bleak. But do you get a sense that Rob Edwards is sort of turning it around at all?
I mean, away from home, you look at some of the performances recently. You look at Villa Park, you look at the one at the Emirates, you look at Anfield. Those are games where Wolves are proper glorious in defeat, and you're thinking they've given everything. Yes, they've tucked a few men behind the ball, but they were very unfortunate not to come away with something at Anfield. They were very unfortunate to lose at Villa Park. So, I mean, it's only a point, but this is a reward for some good away performances. Wolves seem to be. They feel like they're under pressure when they're playing at Molineux. It's a bit of a struggle, but away from home, there's a bit more freedom. And Wolves played the better football last night, and I'd argue that most Man U fans couldn't really deny that Wolves deserved something from that game.
What will fans accept? What in the next sort of 6 months? What will see Rob Edwards keep his job? If they do sell Jurgen Strand-Larsen in the window, and probably your best player, and then sort of prepare for next season, is that seen as okay?
I think if you ask most fans about Strand-Larsen leaving, I think most would be accepting that he's going to depart now. He's not been the same player since the Newcastle speculation in the summer. He got a new big contract. We've not seen anywhere near the levels. He was okay against West Ham in the Cup, but yeah, I think most people would see planning for next season. There's no other team that's going to have this much preparation for the Championship than Wolverhampton Wanderers, so why not start the prepping now? The problem is they're attracting those right kind of players that say, well, you may get some Premier League experience now, but it's going to be a long old battle. This squad has been neglected. Give them some Premier League experience. But in terms of Rob Edwards, the standard was set last night. Again, as I mentioned then, Wolves have been glorious in defeating a few away performances recently. Last night, for me, Wolves wanted it more than Man United. Man United looked like they'd already won that game before they turned up.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case. There was some fantastic tracking back. There was some bravery from some of the youngsters. It was a really, really good performance. So for me, that's the bar. Not necessarily the result, but if you're applying yourselves like that, I was one of 3,000 fans that was Old Trafford last night. We sang from start to finish. That's the expectation now. When you see your team out there giving absolutely everything. And last night, I have to applaud it. They did. It was an enjoyable performance, and credit to Rob Edwards and the team.
So do you now go, because it would be amazing. That'd be totally ridiculous. I mean, you haven't won a game yet to stay up. So do you prep in a way that you want Rob Edwards to pick players who will be there next year for sure, and maybe not select players who might be better, but will stay in the Premier League? Do you want to sign players in January who are Championship players, i.e. players that think that's what they, will be good in the Championship? Like, it's sort of an interesting position to be in as a fan, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a really fine line. I think you can't go full Championship because those games that we're close in now may be out of our reach, so we do need some of that quality. Equally, though, I think the most important thing is to have a bunch of players who want to play for the football club. The young lad Mane's come in. He has been an absolute breath of fresh air. He was good at Liverpool. He was fantastic yesterday. I want to see players there just trying and getting everything. I understand, and it's painful to say that some of them just aren't good enough, and that's why Wolves are where they are now. I just want to see players in there, and as all the fan base does, I want to see everybody giving absolutely everything. So in terms of selling off the best players, I think there has to be a middle ground. Would Wolves get the same money now for Strand-Larsen as they get in June, July? They'll probably get more now because teams are desperate. West Ham have been sniffing, other teams have been sniffing. Joe Gomez, maybe Man United, maybe Crystal Palace. What would we get for him now? Probably not. Probably less again in the summer. So I think Wolves have to enter January with a part business head, not totally wrote it off, because you got season ticket holders, you got travel clubs. People want to see their team still putting up a fight.
Yeah.
Granted, are Wolves relegated? They probably are. It doesn't mean we want you to give up though.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's such a weird position.
It's so hard. It's so tough.
Well, and you may disagree with this totally, right? Cambridge United, if you read Fever Pitch, and loads of people have, right? They went on this run before I was born, but where Derby took the record of the longest time if they played without a win, and when they finally won, they beat Newcastle and it was in the old Division 2, so in the Championship equivalent, and Newcastle had Keegan and Beardsley and Waddle, I think, and because it had been so long, this moment, and Nick Hornby writes about it amazingly, was just absolutely euphoric. But I quite liked that my club, and okay, granted it's much smaller than Wolves, had the badge of honour for the longest run without a win. Like, is there part of you that's like, a bad record is still a record? Like, are you looking at Derby's 11 points, or would you quite like to go, actually, we were there when it was that bad? We have earned the right. We are proper fans for going through that, or is that a completely ridiculous concept?
Yeah, Max, I don't want that record. I don't think Wolves fans want that record.
Fair enough.
We are happy to laugh at ourselves, and we were ironically singing, "We've scored a goal last night. How Mashubi, it's only 1-1," and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I like that banter. But Wolverhampton Wanderers need to win a game of football. I think there is the gallows humour with any team that's doing terribly bad. Well, you've experienced with your team, I've experienced with my team. That's fine. But equally, we need a win. We want something to celebrate. It was close last night, and if it wasn't for a deflection, Wolves would have probably pinched that game at the end. Maybe not deservedly so, but no, I don't want any bad records associated with Wolverhampton Wanderers. We're getting hit enough as it is at the moment. I just want to enjoy one win, please.
Yeah, and I suppose there's that thing where it's like you can laugh at you being bad, but you don't want other people.
Absolutely.
You don't want
anyone else.
other people do. I wish you luck. It'd be amazing. Wouldn't it be absolutely amazing if you went on this incredible run and stayed? I mean, no one thinks that happens, but if it just imagine if
have you got a few fixtures you're looking at thinking, oh, maybe there?
Well, I'm looking at Saturday afternoon against West Ham. We have to look at that one. It's Nuno's career started with Wolverhampton Wanderers. It could end in England with Wolverhampton Wanderers because I feel that they'll be wanting to be beating us. But I'm looking at that game. We've got Shrewsbury in the cup. It's going to be tough. But I just want to say before this is out, Wolves have got rid of Jeff Shee, which is credit to the fans and the fan power. And I think that was a really important step for the conglomerate of Fosun. Nathan Shee's moved into a temporary position, but there needs to be massive work from the club to win the fans back. We accept now it's probably over, but there needs to be so much making up to do from the people that are running the football club. Massive work. And I just think that needs to be said. It's phase one of about 50 to sort of put things right between the fans and the ownership.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on. Appreciate your time.
Happy New Year,
Thank you very much, Ryan. Happy New Year.
Cheers.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, Ryan Lester.
It's so hard, isn't it, Max? Because I mean, look, what am I? 5 divisions below Wolves, but I feel like I'm having a nicer time.
Yeah, it's all relative,
being fourth in the National League South than being bottom of the Premier League. When the players he's watching are, one of their right legs would pay for the whole of the Torquay United team. But it's just where you are as a fan. It's just what you expect and what your expectations are
yes,
are
it doesn't matter
everything.
what league. Being bottom of it is bad.
It's
That's
bad,
the
and
thing.
you lose a few, and it's bad, isn't it? It's
and when your team are good, like we're unbeaten in 13.
Yeah,
Charlie.
And it's great, isn't it?
Chesterfield, and it's great, and you sort of go into games going, God, this is odd, isn't it? Now, the latest episode of How to Win the World Cup is available. I don't know why England fans listen to that. We don't need to listen to this. It's Christmas special. Matt Ford and England legend Stuart Pearce. Fordy will love Stuart Pearce.
Oh.
Almost as much as we love Stuart Pearce.
Exactly,
Matt asked Stuart what life is like for a footballer around the festive period, if certain England players will be extra careful this year with the World Cup just around the corner. Explained how seriously legendary Forest manager Brian Clough took training over the Christmas period. Download it wherever you get your podcasts, on Spotify or wherever else. And episodes available every week between now and the tournament. Bob in Kent has been in touch.
Hello,
Charlie.
Bob.
This is not entirely positive.
Oh, okay.
But you're okay. Says, can't believe you're still employing Max Rushden.
Okay.
He's so tedious.
Oh, yeah.
I still won't listen while he's on.
Okay, not listening now. You're listening now, Bob, because you know he's on. So
if you rate him, put him on with Simon Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Then you'll see his intellect. Simon and I have done lots of shows together.
Very much, yeah.
Is he cheap? Is that it? Please explain it to me. Why? Wow.
Who does? Well, Bob. Look, Bob. You choose. You choose what you listen to. That's up to you. But who does Bob think's reading that text and going, yeah, they've got a point. This Bob guy's got a point, actually.
So I text it. I'll send a screen grab, Bob, and I'll send it to the boss and say, I think Bob in Kent's got the right idea. Yeah. Listen to Bob in Kent.
Not everything's for everyone, Bob, is the thing.
No.
That's what you know. Not everything has to be just for you.
But may I wish Bob all the health, happiness and success for 2026 as he has to me.
He's really sent you good vibes.
It's really made me feel 10 feet tall as I approach this new year.
And Joe has said, read the nice one out as well, Max. Max, are you in Melbourne? Happy New Year if so, and bravo. That's from Joe. There we are. So some positive
Thanks,
stuff
Joe.
too,
Appreciate that. It was
50-50.
not his wasn't as positive as Bob is negative. That is what I would say.
Well, the one I got,
anyway.
the one we got from to me and Danny Kelly yesterday, I'm not allowed to read, I'd say 2/3 of the words out on the radio.
Can I try it?
No, I don't think you can. Have a go.
Bleep Bleep and his bleep clown taking the bleep out of bleep bleep. Listen to yourself, you bleep. Wow. One's bleep and the other is a bleep bleep. Okay, I mean, it's
difficult to read that one out. If people come and see my tour show at the end of next year, find me on Instagram for details. I'll read that one out to you. I'll start the show with it. I'll set it to music.
Bob in Kent's got work to do. If he's got to
he
get
really
to that
has
level,
got to catch up with that one.
Come on, Bob. Sort your stuff. If you're going to send us insults, make them proper, Bob. Anyway, there's always time for time difference,
lovely.
and we'll do that next. Gaz, the Wolves fan in Telford. Bob is brave texting in against Max, as it's well known that Max can deck anyone.
That is true.
There you are. Anyway, lots of nice people saying nice things.
Yeah, thank
I
you,
was not
everybody.
fishing,
Happy New Year.
but appreciate it. Right, let's go live to Leicester Forest East.
Oh,
There's always
great.
time for time difference. Here's your host and scorer, the multi-talented Jeff Peters. Welcome, Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
A very good afternoon to you, boys. So Bob's email. How's Bob's health these days? I mean, because I've heard two different versions. Two.
Does a great blue routine. I bet Bob does a good. I bet Bob likes a blue routine.
So Max in time difference against Charlie, 25-14. So it's been a convincing year for Max. Back in June, it was 12-10. It was nip
quite
and
tight,
tuck.
Jeff.
But the last 17, Max has won 13 to Charlie's 4. So in this quiz that is a waste of 10 minutes that nobody really cares about, go get it.
Go get it. Can't stop it.
So Max and Charlie have to guess times. Randomly selected goals were scored. There'll be 5 of them. A margin of error will build. The person with the lowest overall score wins. Now, if the person trailing at any point gets a direct hit on the goal time, the scores revert to 0-0. However, if the person trailing gets a direct hit on the final goal, and if that would see them actually have a lower score, then they will be crowned winner. That's probably too complicated for you boys.
It sounded like clips, Max.
Yeah, so Max, you won last time out, last weekend, so you get to choose whether you go first or second against Mr. Charlie Baker.
I'll let Charlie have the honour.
Oh, thank you. That's kind.
Okay,
I'll have box number 4, please. Jeff.
25,000.
Box number 4. We'd have to. I like that you turned away when you saw which box it was. That's where they're kept. Let's go,
absolutely.
Jeff.
Goal number 1, Arsenal 4, Aston Villa 1, live on talkSPORT last night. So, when did Gabriel Jesus score to put Arsenal 4-0 up? Gabriel Jesus' goal last night for the Gooners.
It was the 81st minute.
Max?
I'll go 79.
Let's hear how it went in on talkSPORT.
Steaming over halfway, beating Andres Garcia and feeding Trossard, who then in turn finds Gabriel Jesus edge of the air, right-footed shot. Oh, brilliant! Curls it past the goalkeeper and into the corner of the net.
That goal went in the 78th minute. So Max 1 minute out.
Lovely.
Charlie 3 minutes out. Max to go first on goal number 2. Also from last night, Manchester United 1, Wolves 1. But when did Krejci equalise for Wolves?
51.
Krejci for Wolves. Yeah, it was just 49.
Let's hear how that goal went in on talkSPORT.
Arakadare, a big target in there. It's come off the top of Xerxes' head. He's back in from Krejci, and it's 1-1. They deserve it. Wolves level at Old Trafford.
That went in the 45th minute. So Max 6 out, Charlie 4
half-time,
out.
wasn't it? Yeah.
And it was 45 plus 6.
45. Oh, I don't know what
mate,
you're doing.
I don't know. That's
it only when we go into the 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, that counts, but half-time is always 45. So it means after 2 guesses, it's 7-all.
7-all.
7 plays 7.
Go
Charlie to go first on.
This is a waste of time.
This is a great game. This is a great game.
Goal number 3.
Isn't Jeff handsome?
Goal number 3.
We only employ handsome people on this show.
Goal number 3, Jeff. Go on, Jeff. Get on with it. Stop waffling.
Spurs beat Manchester United in the Europa League final back in May. It's what we do, mate, second season. But in which minute did Brennan Johnson score the only goal of the game? Charlie to go first.
We're going to do the catch. I think the catchphrase is, it's who we are, mate. Not,
it's who we are,
It's
mate.
what we do, mate.
Yeah, Eddie Jones.
Eddie Jones, yeah.
You're Mars.
Yeah.
I should know this.
Charlie.
Oh, it's me, is it?
Yeah.
Who's it? Brennan Johnson's goal for Man United.
Yeah.
Oh God, so long ago.
So long ago.
So long ago. I'm going to say the 58th minute. I think it's miles off.
Yeah, I think it might be around there.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. 60.
Let's hear how that goal went in.
Laid out towards the left. Ball in towards the near post. And he's in. Spurs lead through Brennan Johnson.
Sounds first halfy.
Yeah, it went in the 42nd minute. So Max went wrong way. Regals 18 minutes out onto 25. Charlie 16 out onto 23. Charlie leads by 2. 2 to go. Max to guess first on goal number 4. Champions League final. PSG against Inter Milan. But when did Seni Mayula put PSG 5-0 ahead?
It's a good game this week. This is a good format.
Sorry, Bob in Kent's replied again.
Okay.
So I was reading that. What was the goal?
Pay attention. Bob was right. Seni Mayula, when did he score to put PSG 5-0 up against Inter in the Champions League final?
In the Champions League final, 84.
And what am I ahead? 2. 85.
Let's hear how the goal went in.
Barkler getting it back, and then Mayulu, and there is number 5.
That goal went in the 86th minute. So Max 2 out onto 27, Charlie 1 out onto 24. So Charlie leads by 3.
Come on, Baker.
With 1 to go,
Come on.
and because Charlie's in the
See
lead,
off the
he
new
guesses
year.
first. Goal number 5, the final one. FA Cup final. Crystal Palace against Manchester City.
No.
Eberechi Eze. Eagles hero. In which minute did he score?
I don't know.
Who's going first? Charlie.
No, flipping.
Yeah, Charlie's in the lead by 3.
32nd minute.
30th
So you've got to be. Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say you've got to be sort of 4 either way or go.
Well,
for
it was
a
about the
directive,
14th
whichever
minute.
one.
It was about the 14th minute. But I'll
it
go
was early,
20.
was it?
I'll go 20. I'll go
Game's
28.
over. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Just shut the show
Right,
down.
so Max is getting 28. Let's hear how that goal went
Shut
in.
the show down. Let's all go home.
They'll
Come on.
forward with Munoz. Ball inside the area. Eza! Eberechi Eza! Swipes it in.
Yeah, good goal.
That goal went
Happy for
in the
Palace.
16th minute.
Yeah, well
so
done,
Max
well
finishes
done,
on
well
39. Charlie on 40.
Yeah, very good.
26-14 this year, a thumping time difference. Overall victory for Max. See you next year.
Happy New Year, Jeff. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Jeff. Happy New Year, Charlie.
Happy New Year,
New Year,
Max.
Tool Station. Drivers next.